Jack, the things we can't say on the air.
Oh my gosh, it's pretty impressive.
Fuck. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. It's Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monk. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Kind of a loaded question, but how you doing, Jack?
Yeah, we're not talking about me.
Fair enough.
Because it's not good. Not good at
all. I had a really great weekend. I got to see all 5 of my grandchildren, not together. Saw 2 and then 3. And I had a great time, but my body was like, you're fat, old, and crippled. And so I've just kind of been sitting here since and feeling very lazy, feeling very, what's the word? Useless, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be back. I woke up, I was going to say this morning, but it was actually 4:00 in the afternoon. And most of the pain was just gone. And it was one of these just like, oh, thank God moments that I enjoy so much in life. But mentally, I've been really well, other than worried for my dear friend that's co-hosting the show with me right now. But yeah, mentally I've been all right. Just physically shot,
Yeah.
And looking forward to Christmas because I love Christmas time. I lost my sense of liking Christmas, Jack, when my mom died, honestly. That'll kick you right in the nuts.
I can relate. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I had my own children, suddenly it became fun again. And now I got grandchildren, so it's really fun. So I get to spoil everybody and to the not Elon Musk spoil them. I can't buy him an island.
Well, not with that attitude.
I would if I could, because they're worth spoiling. But I just really do like Christmas now, and I'm looking forward to it. And then I go on to Twitter, and I realize that even in this time of peace, love, and happiness, there's just shitty people everywhere.
Oh man, yeah, it's a fucking plague of them. The internet has made it easy to find these people. They were always out there.
Sure.
But now they have a platform to screech from. And they're so fucking annoying. Oh, thanks for dropping links, Stargazer.
Hey, Nuts, how you doing, sweetie? All right, Jack. A couple of house cleaning items to get out of the way before we move along with our stories of the night. So if you guys are here to hear me make fun of that retard that you saw in the thumbnail, Chris Cillizza, we'll get to it, I promise. And Chris, if you watch this, and I really hope you do, please understand that when I call you fat, ugly, stupid, I only say these things because they're true. But you should ignore all that and listen to the commentary part other than the insults. But Random American hit me up the other day. It was his birthday, Jack.
Oh.
And he asked if on our next show we could sing to him. And unfortunately, we missed his actual birthday. But this is our next show since then. So Random, good friend of the channel. I played games and shit with him. He's a great guy. This one's for you, my friend. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Random American. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sir. I hope you had a great one. I really, really do. We also have Dutton in the chat right now who had a birthday yesterday.
Oh.
And while I don't know him as well as Random, I'm sure he's good people.
Well, he's watching this show, so.
Indeed. And that means this one's for him. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dutton. Happy birthday to you. I don't know why I decided to do that all in one breath.
It seemed like very lounge singer Christmassy.
But as an asthmatic smoker, it was not a good idea.
Well, you need to think these things through a little better.
Dutton, happy birthday. I hope you had a great one. I really, really do.
I'll tell you what, let me get caught up on these chats that I got. You can recover your breath. From 11 days ago.
Oh, time out. Before you do that, we got one more song.
Oh.
So let's get the final song out of the way, then we'll do that part.
All right.
Because otherwise I will forget. Brand's birthday was sometime soon.
It was. Did we get Advocates Diabli?
Was it Devil's Advocates too?
On the 2nd, we missed it.
Tell y'all parents to stop humping so much. I'm just saying. On the 2nd, that's a long time ago.
Well, we haven't done a lot of shows in there, and I've been gone for like 2 weeks.
I've done several since then, but no, that one we did not do. But let's get Bran real fast. Bran, for you, my friend. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bran. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you had a good one.
And
all right.
Thanks for dropping links.
Will you go ahead and do what you were going to do?
Okay. 11 days ago. Thank you, Cryptic. Hot dog is delicious, especially rotisserie dogs. That's a wet market reference right there. I actually remember the context of that. And 9 days ago, thank you, Retro V Gamer, for that very generous donation, which helped keep my mom's power on for a little while. Sorry for your loss. Hope this helps some. Take your time. We'll be here when you return. I appreciate that. It was a rough week and a half, let me tell you. And shit's just getting stupider by the day. But thanks, man. And thank you, Plaid and Ammo, for the generous donation. Hope you're holding up well during this difficult time. I went through losing both my parents in November of 2022 and 23. They were both very ill. This is a huge change to deal with, so hold on and give your emotions time to go through the loss. I actually haven't had a lot of time to process this. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes that have just made it even more difficult. But thank you, and I'm sorry for your loss. Mom's not doing real well because of what's going on. And like I was telling Monkey, when a dementia patient is trying to figure out where the other bed went, the other hospital bed, you have to explain several times to her that her spouse is dead. Because she doesn't remember. She actually remembered my name last week, which was the first time in about a year. And the past couple of days, she hasn't recognized me. So she thinks that I'm a nurse. And I've had to explain to her that her husband's dead 5-6 times in 1 hour. So that has been draining, to say the least. Thank you, Tyrai. Having lost my own father 2 Augusts ago, it's really hitting hard. I know it's not much, but my condolences for your loss. You and your family are in my prayers. Thank you very much. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. And thank you, Anon123, for the very generous donation. Merry Christmas, Jack. Continuously praying for you and your family. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you. And thank you, Unit 731. Stop lording it over with grandkids and such. Private. Sorry for your loss. In other words, I know that was supposed to be private, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't have any kids, so I'm feeling kind of weird about this. Like, my sister's kid lives very far away and is coming up for Christmas. So Christmas is going to be really weird this year. So yeah, it's definitely been a pretty rough time. So, but thank you guys all so much for all the well wishes, the very generous donations. Like I was telling Monkey, there's some stuff going on behind the scenes that have made things a little more complicated, and it really does mean a lot that you guys have reached out, and I do feel like it means a lot. So thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Retro says here you can build them a really tiny island. Merry Christmas. Thank you so very much. They're being properly spoiled, so I'm gonna probably use that for a video game if I'm being honest. Just saying.
Did you see that game that Satsu? Yeah, you were in there in the chat. That Satsu was playing, that shotgun roulette.
Oh yeah.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, it's a game for those of you who weren't watching, where you're playing Russian roulette but with a shotgun against a computer opponent, and there's various different tools you get to help you learn or help you pick what you're going to do, whether you're going to aim at the opponent or yourself. Kind of morbid, really.
Yeah, it's got kind of like that, like industrial gothy, almost Five Nights at Freddy look to it.
Yeah. Nuts. Thank you so much for becoming a member for month number 18 with just a heart as the message. Thank you, sweetie. All right, Jack. Now it's time to do what we normally do and make fun of tards on the internet or in society or in their government or in the media or, wherever.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, it is an old friend of the show, so to speak. When we did Lords of the Night, one of our constant people we hit on, that's not the responded to, talked about. I'm not sure how you say that properly.
Mocked ruthlessly.
Mocked ruthlessly. There you go.
Satsu wants a link.
Satsu. I need my eyesight fixed, Jack. It's still shit.
Yeah, you should look into that somehow. Yeah, he looks like shit. Not Satsu, but Chris Cillizza looks like shit.
This is actually how he's always looked.
Oh, maybe I haven't seen him in a while, but what's with that? Why does his hair look like that?
Because he's going bald. He's getting older.
Oh no, he's already bald. What the fuck is that? Like the beginnings of a comb forward?
Yes, that's exactly what it is,
dude. That's hideous looking.
Satsu, the link is in your 2 cents plus Twitter right now, my friend. And Dark Resurrect, thank you for becoming a member for month number 7. Got a new job lined up for next year. Less money, but less travel time and much less stress. Well wishes to you and yours, my friends. To you as well, man. Thank you for that. And go ahead.
Hope your new job works out well.
Yeah, sometimes look, money's great. I love money, Jack. But sometimes it's worth the trade-off to take, especially less time on the road. My last job, official, I had a job kind of thing. I drove an hour each way, and I made more money than I did at Walmart, but that's a long ass time in a car every day.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that.
For me also, though, the stress part was another major factor in it. So I made a little more money at the new job, had to drive a lot more, and had way less stress. For me, that worked out.
Yeah. Over on the Cash App, thank you, Rowan Cloud, for the donation. Appreciate it, man. It's generous. Thank you so much.
By the time I got hurt, though, I was talking to Walmart management again about going back because I was offered a lot more money. And I'm a whore, y'all. I'm just saying. Speaking of whores, Chris Cillizza is on your screen right now. And
talk about, like, I'm always broke. We don't make a whole lot of money doing this, but Jesus Christ, Chris, you're bad at this job. Find a different one.
Have you watched this video?
No. I do not like watching this man. Everything about him I find repugnant. And I try not to look at him. Like when you play videos of him, I tend to like flip to another tab because there's something about him that's super weird and creepy, and I don't know what it is. Maybe
he could make himself look better without like the blue glasses or his DNA. What's up, Satsu? How you doing, my friend?
What's good?
Hey, Satsu.
Me, basically. Not physically, but otherwise, I'm awesome.
So I just finished watching this video like 10 minutes ago.
I have not seen it.
So I watched it and then I got really mad. And I'm like, I'm about to make a fucking video. I haven't done it in a while, and I saw you were live, and I'm like, nope, I'm about to go hang with Monkey.
There we go. Yeah, Scribbles pointed this out to me, and I started watching Scribe's stream that he did about this. And there comes a point in what this motherfucker says where I turned it off. I turned it off and was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this one live because.
And I bet you I can guess exactly what point that was. Because I think at that exact point, I was just like, you motherfucker.
Right? Why won't it let me? There we go. Sorry, I had to replace the pinned message there. So he's going to be talking about a story that's been blowing up because the New York Times finally had the balls. I'm using that. So many air quotes floating right now. But to come out and say, hey, Biden might have been a little demented all along.
What? Is that the Shyamalan twist?
It is. And suddenly people in the press have been coming out, oh, yeah, maybe we didn't cover that well. And this is what Chris's video is about. This video is called An Apology About My Joe Biden Coverage. And it's not really an apology.
No, of course not. Can I point out something that really annoys me?
Yeah.
So, as I've said many times, I was an English major in college, right? And a lot of the pretentious douchebag pseudo writers and sometimes the journalism majors, they would have typewriters.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like retro cool. Like, look at me, I'm a writer. This is boy, I do my craft. You just look like a douchebag. And there it is, right behind him. He's got a douchey old typewriter that he picked up at a Goodwill for like $5. It's like like hipsters having like retro headsets and hi-fis. You're not doing it because the sound's better. You're doing it because you think it makes you look cool. And it's really disgusting. And it makes me hate him more.
I like old typewriters, the look of them and everything. I just don't like how he has it on that nightstand thing that he's got going on there. At least put it on a desk.
No, he's got to highlight
like a shrine to
Yeah, it is a shrine. It's a shrine to himself. Like, look at me. I'm a journalist. This is part of my art. Ugh.
Brad, thank you so much. He says, Merry Christmas, Monk and Jack. Thank you. And Rowan Cloud over on the Streamlabs, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, Monkey, to you and your family. To you as well. We will be doing more shows before Christmas, so everybody doesn't have, please, you can say Christmas. I like hearing Merry Christmas. But we'll be going for a couple of days here because we haven't for a couple of days.
Yeah, look, you can wish us all kinds of stuff. Saturnalia, Festivus, everything. Whatever you want to wish us. If you're throwing money, I'm more than happy to take your congratulations. Hanukkah, I don't know what other things are going on. Rosh Hashanah, maybe. Who knows? All
right, so this is his apology for his Joe Biden coverage. Remember, Chris Cillizza was fired by CNN back in 2022 because he's bad at his job, which hasn't stopped them from firing anybody else there.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't have any employees if they fired everybody that was bad at their job.
Donna Bash still gets to work. I don't know why Chris couldn't. Other than he didn't work on the air. Occasionally they would put him in segments and be like, we're going to bring in Chris Cillizza to scare children. So he doesn't have the that news anchor look.
That was when he needed an alibi.
Yeah, I think they fired him because those times when he was offline and on social media, he would put on this act where he was trying to be kind of neutral-ish.
Oh yeah,
on certain things, and CNN was like, "Oh, whoa, no, we can't have that."
I think they fired him because between him and Brian Stelter, kids wouldn't come around.
Well, they might come around, but you wouldn't know where they went.
Children kept disappearing, and it was a process of elimination. Anyway, all right. So
real quick, thank you, Eagle, for the tip there over on the Streamlabs. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. There's no message, but I appreciate it.
Has Caitlin Collins been fired? They're not firing her. She's too cute.
She's the hottest chick they've got at CNN. So,
which is sad. All right. I feel dirty hitting play on this. Tell us, Chris, what are you sorry about?
As a reporter, I have a confession to make. I should have pushed harder earlier for more information about Joe Biden's mental and physical well-being.
You think?
They're not going to do that.
I have a confession. I should have done my job.
Right? No, then evil Donald Hitler might have gotten in office. So they can't have that.
I just want to point this out before we go further in his bullshit here. They have been covering for him since 2015. And then in 2019, they went really hard on it. Remember, it's 2015 when the stories start cropping up about Biden's horrible stutter, which, by the way, I haven't seen one of these fucking shitbags, and maybe Chris will do it. Like I said, I haven't watched this whole video, but I haven't seen one of these fucking shitbags go, yeah, we were lying about the stutter.
No, they're not going to do that either. Look, you and me, Monkey, we're talking about Biden's potential dementia during the election.
During the primary of 2019,
primary.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even so much that they didn't even talk about it, because if they just ignored it and every time it got brought up, they just kind of moved on and didn't address it, that would have been one thing. But they actively spread misinformation about it, and they shamed anybody who even suggested it. They're like, don't even mention it. They were going after each other. Like, you remember those segments where they were talking about it, and that one standout person would mention it, and they were just like, no, we're not pushing conspiracy theories here, or they would shut them down. Like they actively colluded with people to shut it down.
They would say you were making fun of his stutter.
Yeah.
Would you do that to a child? Probably, but
I mean, it depends how ugly the kid is.
We had it's not like Joe Biden was new to the world. We had video of him from when he was in Congress, and there is no hint of a stutter whatsoever. But somehow Joe going, I like being was a stutter. Never heard a stutter that sounds like, Kamala on a long night.
Dude, the actual video evidence, the video clips that were put out of him and his gaffes, they said were right-wing fucking deep fakes.
Yes.
or cheap fakes.
Cheap fakes. Yeah. Remember that one? Yeah. And that was less than a year ago. When the entirety of the media, less than a year ago, was using the term cheap fake.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was until Biden was unnecessary to them. He was expendable. Then it was all away with you. A toy is of no interest to me. Real quick though, thank you, Unit 731. You don't need a forced douche for watching him. Look, what I do recreationally is not really relevant to this video, but thank you for that.
All right.
And any signs of decline. So let me explain. Joe Biden was president from 2020 to 2024. I worked.
It's still 2024, jackass.
He's still president.
He said it in the past tense.
Yeah,
he was president.
Is Chris Cillizza from the future?
You want to know what's hilarious about that?
What's that?
I just saw a TikTok of some fucking dumbass college student. He was like laying on his bed or something, and he was like, "Hey, I got a question, MAGA idiots. Trump has been president since November. What has he done since then?"
I've seen that. There was a chick doing the exact same thing.
I'm just like, oh my God.
Yes, they are that dumb.
Well, if we get to it, we'll talk about the continuing resolution that just passed the House. It was amazing to me watching everybody say, Donald Trump killed this. And not just Donald Trump, of course, Elon Musk too. I'm like, he's not even in office. What are you... It's still up to Biden to get this shit done.
I'm going to interrupt you right now. Thank you, Kamala's vaginal HPV tumor. for the insane donation I just got. Did you mean to do that? Because that's a lot, dude. Thank you.
Hey, that HPV tumor has been sharing the wealth for a long time.
Yeah, no, this is above and beyond, dude.
Yeah, you fucking disrespected him earlier. He ain't like that shit.
Side chat. Read my regarding my username. So I didn't really think this through what I was gonna do after the election. Look, I get it, but look, Kamala's not going away. She's gonna be a laughing stock for quite a while. It wouldn't surprise me if she runs for a governorship or writes. I hope she writes a book on the election. I would read that because I would love to see the inner workings of her drunken stupor.
Oh, did you see her the other day at, I forget where she was, but giving that speech, and she's clearly 3 sheets to the wind at like 10 in the morning.
Oh, I saw bits and pieces of that speech. I didn't see the whole thing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I can't listen to her talk for too long.
Oh no, that's why I want the book and not the audio book, because if she read that, I'd go fucking nuts.
It was amazing. I don't look, she's the VP. Nobody cares about the VP. You can go into hiding like losers do, okay? But they keep dragging her out. I'm telling you guys, she's gonna run for governor. That's her whole point here. She's got to stay visible for it.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I'm really thrown off by the generosity of this donation. Thank you so much. Let me know right away if that's an error. But damn, dude, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Well, here, let me bring it back with Testicle Head here. By the way, Chris,
we went from vaginal HPV tumor to Testicle Head.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Do you think this dude would bang Kamala?
Yes.
You know,
he'd be afraid of it because there's vagina involved, but he'd do it.
They'd both be crying for different reasons. Look at his. I want to point this out real quick. If you watch the sides of his mouth there, this dude is gonna have like Walter Matthau jowls in like 5 years.
Again, if you're watching this, Chris, ignore all of the us making fun of you, and just listen to the actual commentary.
At CNN through 2022.
I do not apologize for the insults.
During that time, the early part when I was at CNN, 2020 to 2022, people Republicans would regularly ping me and say,
I like that he stopped to clarify when he said people. No, I mean Republicans, not people. Not people.
Not people. Those Republican things. They're not people. Those deplorables, those floating garbage.
Thank you, Rowan Cloud. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's on over to Satsu. Satsu, Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
And Eric, thank you. Hey, look. Oh, fuck. This is yellow. Jack, could you?
Oh, yeah. Give me 1 second. Switch screens. Thank you, Eric. Hefflinger? I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. Hey Jack, one way we dealt with my mom and dad's brain issues due to stroke and cancer was giving them fidget toys. Keep them from wandering around physically and mentally. Oh, that's a really good idea. Thank you. I'll try that because mom has obsessive compulsive disorder anyway.
Mm-hmm. But
she tends to fixate on things. So if I get some fidget toys, that might actually work. Thanks for the tip, man. I'm gonna try that.
Dude, if she gets good with a fidget spinner, you could put her on YouTube.
Oh hell yeah! I totally will.
Also, just throwing this out there too. I think Monkey did add. Oh, Star added my Streamlabs to the pinned comment. So you guys don't have to do it through Monkey. If you want to donate to me directly, you can.
I was reading the chat there. They were going to donate it to you, but yours is set up for PayPal only.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Rowan sends me cash apps because I only have PayPal on the Streamlabs too.
Okay, I just didn't know if they knew. I was just throwing it out there.
All right, back to Testicle Head here. Remember, he's not talking about people. He's talking about Republicans. I don't think he even understood what he did right there because this is relevant here in a second. But let's take testicle head back a second.
To 2022, Republicans would regularly ping me and say, why don't you ask more questions of Joe Biden and how he's doing?
No, they didn't. They said, hey, did you see that video of him biting his wife's finger in public?
The Easter Bunny wasn't there to stop him, okay, monkey? And look at this pause face. That's what I'm talking about. You can see the edge of the jowl starting.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have really bad jowls.
Yeah, in a couple of years, he'll be able to go like, and spit will go everywhere, but the meat flaps of his jowls will be like slap two people on either side of him.
Yeah, he should just commit and go to the Stelter toilet bowl haircut. Because it's so bad, man.
He should shave that off. Look, the Picard ring is acceptable for bald men.
Yes.
That's about it. Don't try and do comb overs. Don't try and save that little swath of hair that's growing on the back of your head like it was protected by a yarmulke. It doesn't work, okay? No. You just look silly.
All right. So the Republicans were like, how come you don't ask more questions? How about any questions?
Well, that distinction too, he made that distinction to let it be known that like the only people who were laser focusing on this were Republican. He didn't want to think like no normal people were looking at this, but those obsessive idiots, they were all over it.
And to excuse why he ignored them.
Yeah.
It's just those dumb Republicans. Why would I listen to them? But anyway, we haven't got to the part that pissed me off yet.
76, 77, 78-year-old man. And I would sort of brush them off because what I would say is, well, there's no obvious evidence that he's declining. Yeah, he moves.
For the record, that's not what pissed me off either. But are you fucking serious? Again, Jack and I were talking about this during the primary in 2019. And again, stream lore around here. Polly thought we were just making jokes. And we had to explain, no. We are seeing what we believe are serious signs of mental decline. And even Polly after that was like, oh, you guys are kind of right about this. Because if you start watching what was happening, they weren't just a Joe Biden gaffe saying you got to speak Indian to go into a 7-Eleven where he lives. It was him literally forgetting where he was. For trying to say words and just slurring the entire sentence and not even catching that he did it. But there were no obvious signs. You're wearing glasses. Get your fucking prescription checked because they were all over. How many different videos did we laugh at, Jack?
Oh, way too many. I mean, I seriously lost count over the years.
During that primary, we had almost daily videos of that dude making an ass of himself. The only reason it wasn't more is because he was hidden most of that election. Yeah. And even with that, we had tons of evidence of him being in mental decline.
Yeah, and that's been years now. Like, he is so much worse now. It's shocking how fast he declined. Real quickly, though, thank you, Evil One, for the very generous donation. He said, for Happy Ho-Ho, hope Santa gives you an Asian to stuff. Well, I hope so, too. He will have gotten my letters if that happens.
BG says, no obvious signs if you were willfully ignoring or blind about it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no way you could look at how he was, especially with him being in the public eye. Look, I don't know if Fetterman was retarded before he ran for the Senate. So maybe he's always been like that, Jack. We knew Biden wasn't because he'd been in Congress for fucking 40 years.
Yeah.
He'd ran for president twice before that. No obvious. You fucking idiot. Chris, this is why nobody likes the media. Because this is supposed to be you apologizing, and you're lying in your apology.
Yeah, you're lying through your big fat jowly face.
You didn't go look or not look into it because there weren't obvious signs. You didn't look into it because it was Republicans saying it. That's it.
Yep.
All right.
a little slower. He talks a little slower, but there's no evidence that he's declining. And the White House and the people around Joe Biden were absolutely adamant that suggesting anything, asking the question about whether he was in some physical, mental, or both decline was offensive. How could you? It's age.
That's it. That's the part that got me.
Oh, really? That's not the part that I thought, but I was annoyed at that part too, because I'm like, okay, so your job is to get to the bottom of shit. You're supposed to figure stuff out. And everybody around him is making it seem like it's offensive to even ask it. As a journalist, that should have set off red flags for you. Like, wait a minute, we can't even ask the question. Something must really be going on now.
Can we never have this pause face again? That's a disturbing image right there.
I actually want to cut that out so it's just the head and have it floating around the screen.
You should have that as the thumbnail.
Yeah, this pissed me off because basically what he just admitted here is the White House told us not to ask, so we didn't.
Yeah. They're
What?
falling in line for their overlords.
Except that's not true. Satsu hit on this earlier. That's fucking bullshit because it was the press who was doing the same shit. It was the press. I didn't see Joe Biden or Jill Biden come out and go, hey, don't question Joe. That's ageist. I saw MSNBC do that. I saw CNN do that.
Yeah. And true enough, the White House was doing it. But come on, like y'all, and this is why I said they were colluding. Y'all were working alongside the White House to bury the narrative.
Yep. That's exactly what was going on. And he's making it sound like, look, it was reasonable for me to just take their word for it because there were no signs. Bullshit. And they said it was ageist if you asked. No, this is why during that whole thing, guys, everybody like, he's too old. It's not about old. It's about cognitive ability because Trump's going to be just as old. Does anybody seriously think this guy's lost a step the way Biden has?
No, nobody in their right mind. There's a lot of like the lefties on MSNBC trying to say that Trump's losing it, but there's no evidence of that.
No. There was plenty of evidence that Biden had lost cognitive ability.
Yeah. Which way do I go, Harvey?
But if we ask the question, okay, who specifically at the White House told you that? You're under no obligation to protect them, Chris. Who was saying it?
I bet it was Jill Biden.
Well,
and
I mean,
why
the press secretary for one, with her dumb ass.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is the press. Then when Donald Trump was asked, will you right now denounce white supremacy? Said yes before the question was even done. And the very next fucking day was in the White House briefing room after Kayleigh McEnany says, here's all these times that Trump has denounced white supremacy, had the fucking balls to ask that. Yeah, but will he do it today?
Exactly. Yeah. Will he do it this time? Dude, there's an entire compilation, like 5-minute compilation of Trump on God knows how many occasions, like straight flat out denouncing them, like 100%. And they try to clarify just to make sure that he's saying what they want him to say. And he's like, dude, I'll say it as many times as you want me to. Like, I've said it now, I've said it before. Like, I don't know how many times you want me to. And still, what is it? Joy Behar on The View just a week ago was just like, he never denounced white supremacy.
Yep.
Just a week ago.
Still saying that same stupid shit. They never had a problem questioning anything that came out of the Trump White House, but hey, the Biden White House said it, so we just couldn't. We couldn't.
Yeah, they were offended, so we didn't want to offend them. Like, really? That's really your reasoning? Okay.
Well, Biden's above reproach, you monster.
That's why I said this isn't really an apology. As soon as I hit that part, I'm like, all you're doing is trying to justify why you were in their camp and trying to make it sound like you weren't.
Well, it should be a confession. It shouldn't even be an apology. It should be a confession. But he's saying that somebody else made me not pay attention to this. So I'm apologizing because I listened to them.
Older boys made him do it.
Even At the beginning, he even calls it a confession, but it's not even a confession. He's lying about this shit. He never gave the Trump White House this deference. That's bullshit. We covered you, Chris. Anyway.
Shaming. And I think that impacted me at some level because while I did ask the question from time to time of, you know, not directly the White House, but aides and.
Okay, I haven't seen past just a couple of seconds ago. So he just said he asked the question not of the White House, but of aides.
Yeah.
What aides? Were you going to like just random people like, yeah, I'm a nurse's aide. Can I ask you about Biden's health? What aides, Chris?
He asked the aides that's currently corrupting Biden's brain.
Wait, what the fuck is he talking about?
I don't even think he knows what he's talking about. He's just like, this is my apology video. Deal with it.
Well, he tried to play it like to what he's saying right now. He tried to play it off like after he left CNN and it was like safe for him to speak more freely. He started inquiring a bit more. And I'm just like, no, come on, dude.
Earlier, he mentioned part of this is while he's at CNN. Not only that, he just blamed the White House specifically for why he thought that way. Because if he asked the question, he was told that's ageist.
Mm-hmm.
And then told us, well, I didn't ask the White House.
Yeah, I asked aides.
Oh, my God. CNN, seriously, pay me. I will make you look a lot less dumb.
Well, I mean, that's a low bar to work with.
It is, but any improvement to their reputation will be good for them.
Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. AIDS is definitely involved in this, just not the kind he thinks.
Yeah. All right.
And people around in that orbit, I didn't really push on it, if I'm being honest. Now,
you didn't
once
ask.
I left CNN and once it became a little bit more clear to me about Biden's age, I think I did write pretty regularly and talk pretty regularly about how I wasn't sure that this guy was up to it. And then obviously after the June 27th debate, everybody, including me, was writing and talking about it. Some
of us were way ahead of the curve on that. You know, there's a clip that I was going to play. I almost played it before this. Of Dananana Bash over there at CNN talking to Brian Stelter.
Oh God.
And talking about how the new media, they can just say anything they really want to say and they don't really get checked on it or anything like that. Just as I said on Twitter, I will put my record of reporting up against anybody from mainstream, including Fox. Any legacy media, and let's see which one of us have gotten shit right more.
Well, you got to remember, Monkey, that's the reason why people like The View is because they're checked by ABC.
Yeah. Paychecks to Trump by ABC. 16 million.
$15 million. Because George Stephanopoulos called him a rapist repeatedly.
And then they renewed Stephanopoulos' contract for some reason.
Yeah. Sullivan versus New York Times is going to end up back at the Supreme Court, and I think a lot of journalists are going to be very scared.
They probably should be, considering the amount of defamation they've been doing.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, New York versus Sullivan is the famous Supreme Court case that made it harder for public figures to sue for slander and libel. You and I have way more rights. You know, that we shouldn't have two tiers of justice. Sometimes it actually hurts the rich and powerful more. And defamation is one of them. You can basically lie all you want to about these people.
Yeah, and you have to say something super egregious for them to be able to sue you.
Yep. And that's wrong. That shouldn't be it. And it's part of why we have the system we have now, because the press lies with impunity.
Yep.
There is nothing to hold them accountable. Anyway.
Yeah. And if they want to cover up their lies, they just say that they're sources themselves.
He's the only person they can get to work there. Who? I feel like I missed something.
People like Chris Cillizza, I assume.
Oh, there's lots of, look, I would go work for CNN. Give me a fat check, man. I'll come work for you. I'm not going to just do what you want me to, though. You'll probably have to fire me if I'm being honest. But I'll bring you more credibility than anybody at your station right now.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty low bar, dude.
Again, I'm just saying that any improvements.
I think we should take the show over to MSNBC first and milk them dry of all their money, because all their fans will be rabid haters, and then they'll hate watch us, and then our numbers will look really good, and then we go over to CNN for a bigger paycheck.
Y'all gotta lead with me though. You have to pretend like I'm the leader, because MSNBC will take us no problem if I'm black and I'm like, yeah, these are my guys. They work for me. We'll be hired like tomorrow.
We should call it Satsu and his slaves.
Fuck.
That shit would be hilarious. I'm just saying, we're both white, so they can't get offended at it.
Well, it's too bad we're not Polish. It could be the Slavs.
Nice.
Somebody just puts one of those little corrections with a little E under it.
Yes. All right. Oh, speaking of Polacks.
The reason that I bring this up is in the last 48 hours, there have been two stories, one by the New York Times and one by the Wall Street Journal, that document the decline of Joe Biden and how we probably should have known then and reported then what we know now. So
the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times with their 2020 hindsight of shit that was obvious at the time.
Yeah. By the way, can I repeat my complete disdain and distrust of anyone that wears a sweater over a dress shirt, especially sweater vests?
That's not like a sweater.
Pedo. No, but it's just more offensive to me because you look like a pedo if you're doing that. But this is a full sweater over a dress shirt. It looks weird. It's unnatural.
I'll take issue with the statement alone that we should have reported then on what we know now. Yeah. When what you know now is what you fucking knew then.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Real quick, thank you, Kamala's vaginal HPV tumor, for the donation. Appreciate that. Yes, I meant that much. Figured the love den could use some upgrades. Oh man, handcuffs rust really easily down there. Or keeping mom's power on. Either way, no, it'll all go toward expenses for dad's funeral expenses and mom's bills, because there's a lot of nonsense going on right now. But thank you very much for that, man. That is incredibly generous.
I'm Polish, and the dilemma of putting in a light is severe. I only said, speaking of Polacks, because when I was growing up, it wasn't blondes that you made fun of. You made fun of Polacks for being dumb.
Yeah, they always had the Polak joke books right next to the ones about blondes and dead babies.
And these days, a lot of those same jokes have just been rehashed for other people and other groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm okay with it. Why does it look like he's picking his nose with his thumb?
He's too good for tissues.
That was up his butt, and he's sniffing it.
Probably. I mean, we can't see where his hands are most of the time, so.
True.
Let me just read a little bit of the Wall Street Journal piece, which is based off of 50. That's me drawing it for some unknown reason.
Backwards
50 interviews with people in and around Biden. I'm just going to read a bit.
I just want to point out that there was something like this that happened a month ago. That's the Wall Street Journal one, is actually an older story. And when it first came out, the White House was like, I don't know who's spreading these rumors. And Jill standing over in the corner giggling to herself.
Yeah.
You don't even need to go talk to 50 people and just look at his public appearances.
Well, they really think people are fucking stupid. It's just like oh my God, what was it? It was either CNN or MSNBC. I think it was MSNBC, but they had that panel where they were talking about Twitter, and they were like, "Oh, Twitter information that went out says that Twitter is, weirdly enough, even though people say that it's a right-wing, den, it is the most politically neutral website there is." And the one black chick is like, "Oh my God, dude, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. It's way too early, and you're already spreading misinformation." And he was like, "We reported it. Like, we reported it on this show. We were the ones who said it."
But it's amazing how quickly their memory just goes away.
Yeah, and she told him, "Stop lying." She said, "Stop lying," and he was like, "But we reported it on this show. It was all we are the ones who broke that."
The shit, I had a story that went with that, and I don't remember it now. Getting old sucks.
You're old.
I am.
Write stuff down.
There's just so many examples of the news doing. Oh, I was with the continuing resolution today. So the continuing resolution, for those of you who don't know, we didn't pass a budget again. So Congress has to go through every couple of months. Next time will be in March. And go, okay, we're going to pay bills for a little bit longer. And by the way, we're going to spend a bunch more money. And the bill that they came out with was 1,500 pages long. And they gave lawmakers a week to read this. I don't know if you've ever read bills and shit. It will make your brain into mush.
Yeah.
And Trump got that killed. And
Trump!
So they pared down to this 116-page document, which mostly still passed, except for Trump wanted to put in getting rid of the debt ceiling for a while. Horribly bad idea, by the way. And so they end up passing it. And the Democrats all came out against Trump's bill and all voted for the one that did pass. And the only real difference in there was getting rid of this debt ceiling lifting that Trump wanted. And the media is all out there like, Trump lost. The Democrats didn't go for his version of the bill. Democrats have been trying to get rid of the debt ceiling for years. They want to just get rid of it completely. But the news media completely forgets about that shit because Trump wanted to do it too.
Yeah, it was the same thing with the fucking vaccines. When they were arguing with Trump about the vaccines during a live debate between him and Biden, and Trump's like, "Yeah, we can get them by like April." And they're like, "No, there's no way you could do that." And Trump's like, "I'm the president. I literally talked to the people who are in control of this, and this is what they told me." And the fucking moderator is arguing with him like, "Yeah, well, our sources doesn't say that that's true." I'm like, motherfucker, is he debating you?
Yes, that was Chris Wallace, and it was actually by the end of the year that Trump said they could get it done.
Yeah, and guess what? It happened by the end of the year, and as soon as it happened, what did they say? "Well, we don't know if we should trust a vaccine that's been endorsed by Trump." I'm like, you motherfuckers, dude.
And then immediately when Biden takes office, they're like, "It's the best vaccine ever."
Yeah, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, their short-term memory is worse than me on gabapentin, for fuck's sake.
Wow.
It is so weird how much better my memory is since I stopped taking that shit.
Considering you just forgot something.
I didn't forget it. I pulled it back up.
Real quick. Thank you, Alan.
To adapt the White House.
Shut up.
You have my condolences, brother. I lost my dad too. It does get better. I appreciate that, man. Mom's probably going to be joining him before much longer here, but I know it's just you got to get through this time and everything. There's always so much bullshit that goes along with this. You're never allowed to just grieve. But thank you, Alan.
Digi asks, what if Trump knew that he would lose, so he purposefully made the choice to remove the debt ceiling? Look, this is something that's going to piss off some people, but the reality of Trump is that he is a New York liberal. Old school New York liberal for sure, but still a New York liberal. And he wants the ability to not have to deal with the budget and just get things done that he wants done. And that is a very, very bad idea. He wants to get rid of the debt limit because it is a long-term democratic idea. And while he wears a Republican uniform now, that's because the Overton window has shifted that fucking far.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. He is not a staunch conservative. Never has been, especially not fiscally.
No, his fiscal policies need some tightening up. But, you know, if he gets decent people around him, they can kind of rein him in.
Yep, and getting rid of the debt ceiling is a very, very bad idea. If you have an issue with, hey, we keep hitting the debt ceiling, stop spending so much.
You're not my mom.
You mean like the $1 billion they just allocated to save rainforests in some other fucking place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. Motherfucking hurricane victims, they were just like, we don't really know if we got the budget to help anybody who lives here and pays taxes, but rainforest in another country, oh yeah, we definitely got the money for that.
Yeah, they start rubbing their nipples for that.
I'm just like, bro, what?
At best, Trump is a 90s Democrat. Yeah, and look, we can have disagreements about spending and stuff, but people got to stop pretending that man is like some staunch conservative. He's just not and never has been, which is what makes the left's hate of him so funny. They should love him. Just
like Joe Rogan. Everybody's like, Joe Rogan's a Republican. I'm like, since fucking when?
Yeah, the Bernie bro.
What?
You know how much Bernie has in common with those fucking Republicans?
It's shocking, the crossover.
Oh, man.
Around the needs of a diminished leader, they told visitors to keep meetings focused. Interactions with senior Democratic lawmakers and some cabinet members, including powerful secretaries such as Defense's Lloyd Austin and Treasury's Janet Yellen, were infrequent or grew less frequent. Some legislative leaders had a hard time getting the president's ear at key moments, including ahead of the U.S.'s disastrous pullout from Afghanistan. Senior advisors were often put into roles that some administration officials and lawmakers thought Biden should occupy, with people such as National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, Senior Counselor Steve Ricchetti, and National Economic Council head Lael Brainerd, and her predecessor frequently in the position of being go-betweens for the president.
In other words, nobody could get to Biden, so it's like, no, Biden said, and the president wanted me to tell you, yeah, we know all this because this was happening during the election.
None of this information was hidden back then. Like the way he's talking about it is like, oh, we just got this information, and if only we had it earlier, we could have been like, no, all this shit has been known. They were just called right-wing conspiracies back then.
Yep. Isn't it amazing how that's kind of gone away with the election of Trump?
Dude, right-wing conspiracies are literally the first Pokemon evolution. They evolve into actual realities later on. Like that's the starter Pokemon you get. That's the one Professor Oak gives you as a right-wing conspiracy, and it just levels up into a fucking reality later on.
Reality's its final form. Cheap fake is the middle one nobody cares about. That's your Charmeleon.
Cheap fake.
All right.
Press aides who compiled packages of news clips for Biden were told by senior staff to exclude negative stories about the president. The president wasn't talking to his...
What negative stories about the president? Fuck you.
Well, the ones that they excluded, they listened.
There weren't any. Even for the most part, Fox wasn't running negative stories about Biden. Even with that awful Afghan withdrawal, they were like, it's Trump's fault. He's the one that set the timeline. All of the news has been Biden great, Trump sucks. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah. Or Trump did thing and terrible. Biden did same thing okay.
Awesome. The greatest thing ever, actually. It's huge. I wish I could do Trump's voice. I saw an Asian guy doing Trump today, and he nailed it, and I was so jealous.
Ooh, that sentence.
I know, but take out your dirty mind, and it makes sense.
That sentence. Oh, boy.
Satsu has a vivid imagination. Now he's imagining a Asian man plowing Donald Trump.
You literally said that. You said those exact words.
I did not say plowing.
You didn't say plowing. You said nailing. You didn't say either. Okay, so I'm calling bullshit on your memory.
Okay, fine. Nailing. And I meant the impression of Donald Trump. All right.
As surveys showed him trailing in the 2024 race. Sorry, I'm looking up the New York Times piece because I want to quote from the New York Times piece as well. That
you sat down to record. Look, we don't have great production value here, and I occasionally have to look shit up while we're online. But you're trying to explain to us why you were like this, and you didn't have that at the ready. You're bad at your job, Chris. You can't even report other people's news in a good way.
Well, he was just supposed to be Apollo lying. He didn't think he was gonna. He didn't think he was gonna have to look up stuff.
Good God, man.
I
like Apollo lying.
Then there's the headline, New York Times. This is earlier this week. A weary Biden heads for the exits.
Did you guys see Biden was on Midas Touch?
No,
I don't know what that is.
Midas Touch or Midas Media, they're those brothers who are much more successful than the Krasensteins and spread lies constantly. What is it, MEIDAS or something like that?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
They're a shitty group. And they had a interview with Biden. We should go over that. I wonder if they'd hit us for that. They probably would. They're kind of cunts. But they asked Biden if there's anything he would have done differently in the last 4 years. And he says, maybe if I thought about it, I could think of something specific, but nothing generally. That was his answer. That's a direct quote. If I thought about it, maybe something specifically, but nothing generally.
I got nothing, dude.
Turns out he was Kamala's speechwriter.
Apparently.
This seemed to work out good for her. Let me pull this one out.
I feel like we're unburdened by what has been.
By the way, we can't have 4 more years of this.
Oh my God. I saw somebody say, it's really mean to even ask Joe Biden to try to think of something he remembers. Anyhow.
This is the twilight of Mr. Biden's presidency, the final days of the final.
It's the twilight of his life. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I give him a year tops.
He has declined so rapidly. Did you see the video of him coming back from Delaware? Yesterday?
My God, he was so confused. First of all, I still want to know what that was all about, that they had to rush back to the White House. But he looks so confused. Zombie-like. Like, it's the middle of the night and that's coming toward your door. Dude, time to board up the doors. I saw Night of the Living Dead. Tony Todd ain't going to save us all.
My guess would be it's been kind of reported, although not in any real news sources I've seen yet, but that a missile came from Yemen towards Israel and landed. My guess would be something like that. Because
I was thinking it was finally on in Grover's Mill over in Jersey there. Those drones are revealing their true nature, and you just hear that sound from the 50s movie.
That whole drone thing, Christ. Hey, all right, I want to talk about this real fast. If a drone is flying over your property, don't you think you should be allowed to shoot it?
Absolutely. Sadly, there's stupid laws in place that stop that.
I feel like you should be able to shoot. And I saw you can't do that because what comes up has to come down. It might hit somebody. That's why I said shoot it down, not just shoot indiscriminately.
That's what they did in the 50s with the UFO sightings in D.C. They ordered it to shoot down. But anyway, yeah, I think you should be allowed to shoot them down. There's something weird about this story that all these drones have been sighted, and the government is just like, yeah, there's nothing going on. It's totally legal. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. And then Kirby comes out and he's like, some of them are manned. What do you mean some of them are manned? You mean there's a person in it and you're still calling it a drone?
My favorite was the person who said, some of it is people mistaking stars for drones.
Yeah. Look, I understand there's a few people that probably misidentified an airplane or something, but they've shut airports down because of this. They shut in a seemingly unrelated incident, Wright Patterson in Dayton down, but they shut down Logan and what's the other one? One of the other major airports. They shut down for over an hour because of this. This is not just a like whoopsie doodle or a couple of people with a few drones. There's something weird going on here that they're not talking about.
Yeah, not just low flying stars, not moving stars. I don't know if you've ever gone outside and watched stars at night, but
they generally don't dance for my amusement. No, I mean
I've
tried to will that way, but for some reason, the whatever snow globe God's got on the firmament there, he hasn't shaken it up recently.
Yeah, I'll even blow your mind more. If you go back out the next night, that star will be in the same fucking place.
Yeah, although it will move across the sky because the Earth rotates, but you know that's what they say anyway. Did you see that video of the flat earther that went to Antarctica?
Went to the South Pole, yeah.
35 grand just to find out his entire life is a lie.
Or that one dude who was like, I can definitively prove that the Earth doesn't spin because if you fly a helicopter up and just hold it in place, you can land in the exact same spot if you go straight down. And I'm just like, he's cracked the code.
Oh man.
I'm like, give this man a trophy. He's figured it out. Holy shit.
I did like the flat earther because he goes on to talk about, look, I can't explain this, and everything I've ever told you is bullshit, but there might still be an explanation how there's still a flat earth. I'm like, you know what? You keep on keeping on, man.
You keep grasping at those straws, buddy.
He even says maybe somebody else can figure it out. I'm sure they will. All right, anyway, back to Chrissy here.
Chapter of an epic half-century political journey that has more than its share of twists and turns. Time is catching up with Mr. Biden. He looks a little older and a little slower with each passing day. Aides say he remains plenty sharp in the Situation Room, calling world leaders to broker a ceasefire in Lebanon or a deal with the chaos of Syria's rebellion. But it is hard to imagine that he...
Can you imagine you've just taken over Syria and Joe Biden calls you?
And here, let me give you an example of how one of these conversations go. Oh, yes, Mr. President, I'm glad you called. Oh, thanks, Benji. I really thought you were adorable in those movies. Who's the guy on the other line? What? What? No, I don't want that. No, you said his name was putting on the Ritz? What? No, okay, we're going to call him Mr. Green Lantern. So, Mr. Green Lantern, I understand that you're having some problems with Benji over here. He's a good boy. Didn't do nothing. What do you mean? You guys aren't fighting each other.
All right, bye-bye. You ain't black.
Yeah. Which one is the boot-shaped country?
I can't believe anybody's still trying to pretend this guy's involved at all.
If he is, it's more frightening.
Well, fucking Snyder. Damn it, I'm forgetting his last name. He just said, I cannot fucking believe that Democrats are currently saying that we have a secret president in Elon Musk running the country when for the past 4 years we've had no fucking idea who's been at the reins.
Right? Although I'd like to believe it's the maintenance guy who looks suspiciously like Schneider from One Day at a Time. It's just some like maintenance guy in a jean jacket with no sleeves. Like, I don't know, let's just bomb that. Leave me alone. I'm doing something.
I saw somebody on Gutfeld tonight. He said this really makes him feel bad for all the other presidents because they always make it sound like it's a really hard job, and Biden's been doing it for 4 years.
That's a good point.
It's like that's an astute observation, actually.
I mean, it's such a weekend at Bernie scenario. People are just like, all right, we got to figure something out so we don't lose our jobs. This pays pretty good. I like this job. So we're going to prop this up. Okay, guys? You take national defense. I'll take trains. Shut up, Pete.
looking back over the last term of Ronald Reagan, his decline was very noticeable. But it really was in looking back and how much they hid him. There wasn't the constant video like we have of Biden. There was much less media attention, much easier to, fake it. There is no excuse for our media not being like, this guy's, they're still not doing it. This man is the president right now. How many of them are calling for him to be 25th? Which is the right thing to do if the president has dementia. Even if that means Trump has to become 48 instead of 47.
Yeah, well, they could piss off Trump by doing that because all his branding says 47 on it. So
but shit, dude, you know how much money he'd make from everybody having to go out and buy 48 gear?
You say that as a joke. They actually suggested that on MSNBC.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean,
yeah, he actually suggested, like, not ironically, one of the black dudes on there was just like, yeah, we should do that to stick it to Trump. And so that way we'll be playing his game. We'll play by his rules. And then they said, so Kamala wouldn't have to go through the shame of what is it? Doing the Passover or whatever, I guess. Forgot.
The verification of the election results. They didn't use the word shame. What was the word they used? Absolved. She would be absolved of doing it like it was a sin. Yeah, we watched that video. Oh, God, that dude. Fuck that dude.
Look, I could see them do it. I'm surprised they haven't, actually. As soon as Kamala lost the election, I thought they were going to 25th him and put her in so they could still get that first black female president.
Dude, they don't even fucking know how much of a troll Trump is. Trump, from now on, if they did that shit, from now on, Trump would ship every one of his merchandise with a fucking black Sharpie and be like, just cross it out and draw the right number on it.
He'd have an asterisk put next to the 47.
Yeah.
Look, guys, I get it. You own 47 gear. It's not that hard to turn a 7 into an 8. Just round the bottom and bring it back up. You'll be fine.
It'd still be funny too.
It would, yeah.
There are so many people out there convinced that Kamala's going to be installed as president for the inauguration, and it cracks me up. But I kind of want that delusion to continue for a few more weeks. So if they did 25th Biden, I'd laugh my ass off because it'll feed into the crazy that these lunatics have.
Also, too, it's an opportunity for the black community to fucking embarrass themselves yet again and fucking celebrate it and be like, ha ha, y'all thought we would never have another black president, but look at these disgraceful conditions that we fucking created to make this happen.
Oh, come on, Sansu. She's not really black. She's Indian.
God, Jesus Christ.
I think the reason that they didn't do it is what we've seen from Kamala. She's been drunk since she lost.
I swear to God.
Since she lost.
Fair point. I mean, shit face since I bet you she does not remember the last month.
I kind of get it, but she's pretty dumb.
She wakes up every morning and immediately starts drinking. And yeah, every time you see her now, she is so sloshed.
Yeah, she goes to sleep with a Hennessy catheter.
Yeah.
That's so that she doesn't wake up in the night and catch Doug with the nanny.
He seriously thought he could do the world's most stressful job for another 4 years. Okay, I know that's a lot of text that I read.
Well, he forgets because he's got dementia.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't remember that he can't do the job. I see this every day. Trust me, it's horrifying.
That's what's got me thinking about the fact that I probably should have pushed harder on the Biden.
Okay. Do you remember just a minute ago he said after at this point in real showtime, it's like half an hour ago, but in his video about a minute ago, he said once he left CNN, he started asking more of the questions.
Right.
But now he just told us, reading these 2 articles, one of which only came out this week, that's what made him start questioning it.
That's just embarrassing, man.
So you you started thinking on your own that there was some obvious decline, despite those non-people Republicans who were pointing it out to you. But you didn't think to do your job till you read the New York Times this week?
Yeah, he has to follow mainstream sources like every good lefty, so he's not allowed to question the narrative until somebody else questions the narrative and makes it cool.
You know, that's not an excuse, though. Most of the stories we cover here are from mainstream news sources. We just point out the obvious fucking flaws in them.
Oh, so no, you're not allowed to do that, mister. That's heresy. You're a dirty heretic, you.
I didn't think about it till I read the New York Times yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't until another one of the people who were running interference for the story decided to stop doing that I was like, maybe
nothing to say here. Move along.
But
Move
they
along,
talked
you.
to 50 people.
50.
You mean like the 50 odd who signed off on Hunter Biden's laptop being Russian?
Shh, we don't talk about that.
50 people who didn't exist until a couple weeks ago, apparently.
It's just, fuck. Thank you, Doug Imhoff. Drunk, yeah, alcoholic drunk. That's what it is. Bitch, how could you lose to such a weirdo? Indeed. I'm telling you, I really hope Doug hasn't been beating her, because I've seen her put her hands on a few guys, and we know how he gets.
Oh, he's a bit of a jealous type.
He really is. You don't
To
like.
be fair, one of those guys was Tim Walz, and
I said guys. Guys.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Oh,
and age stuff. Because in retrospect, it's clear that the people close to him knew that at best he had some good days and some bad days. June 27th, the debate clearly was a bad day. But
no. At that point, we're not even at bad days anymore. We're at a bad couple of years.
I would say the word catastrophic should probably be in there, but that's just me.
This is the guy who, without hesitating, mentioned Mexico being next to Israel.
Yeah, they share a border. You didn't know that?
We didn't see any signs of decline.
It's like the Southern strategy. They switched. So Egypt is now located to the south of us.
No, Monkey. He said Mexico is real. He was saying that it exists.
Fuck! These people get paid for this. Yep. Not Chris, because he got fired. But, I mean, for at least half of the time that he's talking about here, he was being paid by CNN. And the shills at CNN were still saying this shit up until, Van Jones had to cry after the debate.
Well, I mean, sometimes when the end is near, people break down and cry.
It's just amazing to me that they all pretend they didn't see it. Chris, you want to give an actual apology? You want to give an actual confession? Just come out and say that you shilled for them and you didn't question it because you agree with them. Because that's the reality here. You wanted to take out Trump. Yeah. You wanted to take out Trump. You're a Biden supporter and you were doing what you could to get him reelected. Because that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just tell the truth. Because, it's not like the Democrats haven't been, fucking Anna Kasparian, fucking Charlemagne, fucking there's so many people who were just and they're all basically turning against them and saying even the bitches on The View just had a little panel recently where they were talking about how they don't really resonate with what current Democrats are and shit like that.
Yeah, call them corporate Democrats.
Yeah, I was just come on, man.
But that's not what they were singing a month and a half ago, was it?
Nope.
No.
That wasn't what they were singing a week ago.
No.
Yeah, the tide is turning, and they're going to correct course to continue to shill and get money.
It's just amazing to me that these assholes. I would at least respect you a little bit if you were actually honest. I have more respect for degenerate shitbags who are honest about being degenerate shitbags than I am for this guy.
Oh,
Dude,
like
I
Hunter?
truly, if I watched this video and he was straight up just like, look, we was playing the game and we lost, like straight up, like y'all know how it is. This is how politics are. You know, politicians have been getting extremely polarized lately. And even if he would have wanted to blame that on Trump, I'd have been like, okay, fine. You know, Trump is a polarizing figure. Sure, why not? But I'm just like, no, straight up. He's just like, it wasn't my fault. I apologize that I just wasn't really that I listened to everybody else and caved instead of doing what I knew was right. And this is like, fuck off, dude.
It wasn't my fault. The White House said I'd be ageist if I asked the question that I totally asked, but I didn't ask.
Yeah, they said I was gonna be a big meanie if I said it, and you don't want that label on you.
I just had to prove I'm a good person. It was a litmus test, and I knew it. And I'm a good person, so I couldn't say that.
This lizard's a good boy.
That's right.
I don't know how many of you guys watch Megyn Kelly, but watch Megyn Kelly's show today versus when she was on mainstream media outlets, and then watch Chris compared to when he was on CNN. And you'll notice that a lot of the people who leave mainstream media and go to YouTube or whatever, they're like, I can finally say what I really mean.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch her, even when I disagree with her, I believe she's telling me what she really thinks.
Right.
I don't believe this guy. I think he's still trying to get rehired at CNN.
Oh, probably. Because they're trying to be more moderate now. So he's like, look, I'm more fair to both sides now, see, because I see through what they were doing. I'm aware of their tricks now. They're tricksy little hobbitses, and I can see through that now.
Mighty Balzac, thank you. Fun fact, 4 weeks is enough time to start World War III. You really only need less than a day.
I mean, give them time. Joe's got to find some buttons to press.
I didn't come get you because I want to wake you up.
Is that Squish?
Yeah, she's coming up to go to bed. She fell asleep on the couch.
Night, Squish.
Monkey says night, Squish.
Night, Squishy.
She going bed.
You got a packet of cookies over there?
No, that was her moving. There was baby wipes on the bed. She put them on my dresser.
Oh, you got me all excited. That sounded like the cookie wrapper when I get cookies out. Not that I eat cookies. I'm diabetic. How you think I got diabetic? Leave me alone.
If the bad day was that bad as he performed on that debate stage, the fact that he had been president without a whole lot of questions being asked about his physical and mental decline, and I'll add the fact that he continued to be president from June 27th until January 20th, 2025, I think is a little bit concerning. And
you think?
We're at the tail end of that. And he's like, it's kind of concerning. You couldn't have said that, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Dude, they literally sat there and watched Biden's entire villain arc. Like, this man got pushed out by Nancy Pelosi, said, oh, fuck that shit. Y'all ain't about to have a primary up under my nose after kicking me out. I'm putting Kamala in fourth, even though I know this bitch ain't even worth it. And they was just like, oh, shit, Biden, for real? We playing it like that? So she fucking came in. And then Biden, when Kamala came out, it was just like, yeah, I wasn't really involved in a lot of stuff Biden was doing. Biden was like, bitch, you were right next to me. Remember, you signed every paper that I signed. You were in every meeting that I was in. Yeah, like Biden went through his whole fuck y'all, I'm leaving this bitch with a bang. He was like, I'm not pardoning my son. Oh, y'all gonna do me like that? Fuck that shit. I'm pardoning this motherfucker for 10 straight years of anything he could have possibly done. Suck my dick. I'm not gonna have to be president anymore. I'm like, Biden, he went through his whole villain arc and they acting like this shit is brand new still.
Even before we get to that part of the arc, the day after and even the night of the debate, there were a couple people going, oh, he didn't have a good debate. Nobody was questioning. Nobody on the mainstream media was questioning his cognitive ability. Even with that moment where Trump's like, I don't know what he just said, and I don't think he does either.
That was the best moment of the
They were like, look how he's being mean.
Well, a lot of people, for me, I saw it was neutral. For me, there were some people starting to like entertain the thought, but nobody would actually come out and say it. And then other people were just like, no, he did excellent. He did perfect in that debate. He completely won. I don't know what you guys saw. It was one or the other.
The media came out, and Daniel Dale, the fact checker at CNN, came out and said, yeah, Biden had a bad debate, but Trump told a bunch of lies, and I only found one that Biden told.
Sorry.
Biden told 3 lies in 3 sentences in his opening remarks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until George Clooney came out and wrote his opinion piece, I forget where that, I think it was in the New York Times, and said that, yes, when we all saw Obama lead him off, that night was very concerning because Joe was clearly fucking out of it. And then people were like, oh, maybe he is. They all ran to his defense first and tried the same old bullshit that they always do. And now this asshole wants to pretend that all of them are like, oh my God, I can't believe how bad he is. Did y'all not see him the week before? I hate these people.
Real quick. Thank you, Comrade Kitty, for that feminist donation. I'm going to read part of this, but not the other part. But thank you. Sure. Very much appreciated. Did you see the internet cross the streams with Foodie Booty and Keemstar? Yeah, Foodie Beauty went on Lol Cow Live. And it was the kind of train wreck you only see every now and then. Like, it's usually kind of like a once in 5 year kind of thing, like a weird eclipse or something. Mm-hmm. The stars just lined up right to have all these fucking retards in one spot. It was a terrible performance. And yeah, it was worth watching because it was as good as the Boogie Freak Out.
No, I've been watching the Doolittle drama. What's his first name?
Doctor?
No.
Oh.
Some weirdo leftist piece of shit who kind of blew up his whole career recently, partially by being a douchebag about bigger creators not donating to his charity that he made.
What?
He's got this charity where once a month he gives $500 to people for medical expenses or whatever they need it for. And he makes this horrible fucking video trying to shame richer YouTubers into becoming, paid sponsors of his fucking weirdo thing.
It sounds like a good cause, but there are other charities that do that I can trust.
Right? Oh, that fucking yeah, him. That's the drama I've watched. But honestly, the most of what I've watched lately is Satsu. I've been watching him play video games. That's the most I've been online in the last probably week.
Yeah, I played some buckshot roulette this today, which was
yeah, that game looked kind of creepy.
It went how you could imagine. A lot of shooting myself in the face and also getting shot in the face.
Oh, so like the Destiny video leaks.
Oh,
yes.
Not quite.
Oh, my bad.
The charity blackmailer, yeah. And then he makes a follow-up video from the hospital, you see. And everybody's talking like he's in the hospital. You ever known anybody that's admitted to the hospital and has been there and isn't wearing a gown?
No, they make you wear the gown after like a few hours.
Nah, homie's in a t-shirt. You see, he's got chronic Lyme disease.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. And for some reason, he's got to have knee surgeries every 3 years.
Thing, but
I mean, it is, but the actual effects of it are debated. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
But he shoots this video that he just had to shoot from a hospital, and he's wearing a fucking t-shirt and jacket. I'm like, yeah, he might have gone to the hospital, but he's not been admitted. Why are y'all acting like he's on his deathbed? And so in this one, he explains that the other video was a mistake. He shouldn't have done it. He was just very upset and basically does the same thing without naming people like he did in his first video.
Wow.
So he has to make a follow-up to that one, disavowing everything he said all along. Like, you can't undo that damage.
Do people even think before they put this stuff out anymore?
Well, a lot of people still have the delusion that their thought process, like their ideology, whatever group they represent, is still the majority. And for a while, like CNN and all these places, they had the benefit of being like, look, we can do and say whatever we want because, the public seemingly overall believes us. You know what I mean? Like everybody's on the same page.
Sure.
But once they lost everything in this last election, like a lot of them have caught on and they're just like, oh, guys, we can't get away with this anymore. But then a lot of people they really haven't caught on. They still think that they're the majority. And they're like, oh, no, we'll get through it. We can say and do whatever we want, and there won't be any major consequences. We're the majority. I'm like, that's not the case anymore, yo.
It is never, though, a good idea to try to shame people into giving.
Well, I mean, it's been pretty efficient for some people for a while. And, to their credit, it's like, I could see how you believe that could work. Because that's why we have full-blown DEI programs infecting almost every major company in America right now, because it was a pretty decent tactic for a while, but it's not working anymore.
Bro, I saw some game journalist bullshit today trying to go after the people who just highlighted Sweet Baby Inc. By the way, that is still a creepy fucking name for adults, all right?
It's so creepy.
And it was just them reposting their March article because that's when the whole Sweet Baby Inc. bullshit blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up the CEO, and she was recently at a festival, what's it called, the XOXO Festival. And she gave a talk called "What It's Like to Get Harassed." For the record, it was her team that was doxing people.
Yeah. Why are you talking about
And she talks about how they were instrumental in writing many games, not just polishing the script, but actually doing the writing of it, and then tried to distance herself from being involved in the story of the games. And the fucking clapping seals just like, how do you get lied to like that? It's kind of like listening to Chris here. How do you get lied to like that in real time and cheer for it?
Oh, dude, the chick who who was on that last fateful episode of G4, who basically threatened her. Is that the chick?
Yeah. No,
not Frost. Alyssa McCarthy or something like that.
Oh, I'm not aware of this one.
Yeah, she basically said, she's like, oh, games are diverse, and if you think that's not true, you can come and fucking fight me physically, bitch. And everybody was like, oh shit, or whatever. And then immediately when people was like, when actual like female YouTubers were just like, I'll fight you because I disagree. So what? Like, when do you want to fight? And then she was like, I'm being harassed.
Did she say that she'll fight only females? Because I'll take her.
No, she literally said, anybody who disagrees with me, you can fight me physically, bitch.
Let's fucking go.
Those were her exact words.
I'm fat, out of shape, and middle-aged. I'm pretty sure I could take that bitch.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll put this shit on pay-per-view. I get half. Like a divorce.
Yeah,
anyway.
And then immediately after the backlash, she's just like, oh my God, the wave of harassment I'm getting. I only threaten physical violence to every person who disagrees with me.
But all these people are threatening me to fight me. Oh, it's terrifying. I need security.
It's
amazing how many people bring it on themselves and then cry.
Yeah, it's that meme of that chick shoveling shit into the internet box, and then this shit comes flying back out, and she's like, help.
Yes, 100%.
People just don't seem to think about consequences very much.
Well, speaking of shit, we still have more of Chris to go.
Begs the question of, like, when did people near him know? What did they know? And why did they not share? I get
non-disclosures. They like their job and they could get pay raises by going, hey boss, sign this.
Because it was offensive.
He's blaming it on the White House, who, as you just pointed out, they have a vested interest in lying about this. You didn't, dickhead.
Supposedly he did.
True, yeah, because he's just a journalist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean to keep tooting our own horn here, We were calling this shit in 2019.
Yeah. We were some of the first people saying this, and we got crap for it.
And we were doing it on an almost nightly basis. And you didn't think about it too hard until the New York Times. And now you want to blame the white. What did they know? Why didn't you know, dickhead? It was clear as day. He told us earlier there were no obvious signs. Well, if there were no obvious signs, how was his staff supposed to know? Can't have it both ways, Chrissy. He's gonna, because he came up in the mainstream media. All right. Come on, lie to me some more, dickhead.
Protecting Biden's privacy, but he's the president of the United States, right? Like this isn't just your grandpa who you want to like take the keys from, but you're not to his car, but you're not totally sure how to approach it. This is the sitting president of the United States who will continue to be after June 27th, was the president for another 6 months. And we don't know how.
And you didn't think it was worthy to talk about until this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 6 months have passed. This information has been out.
Hate fact?
That fucking White House. Don't make me defend the White House, asshole.
Yeah, especially Sideshow Bob. She keeps trying to kill Bart.
Yes, she does.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. What are these consequences you speak of? Well, if you're a government official, they don't exist.
True.
So yeah, I don't know, butt stuff, maybe a little bit of light spanking. Who knows?
Look, nobody is above the law except for Biden's son.
Sure. Yeah. And anybody that has like an FBI job that was helping with the start of the January 6th riot.
Oh,
did you see?
That's another one. That's another one where they just came out and they're just like, huh, interesting. Did you guys hear there's new information about these? I'm just now hearing it was Anderson, the sports dude, I think his name, the black sports dude. Forgot what his fucking name is. But he was just talking about, why am I just now hearing about all these informants that were doing illegal stuff on January 6th? I'm starting to really question what happened that day. I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's shocking to all of us.
I'm like, another fucking another starter Pokemon has evolved.
Oh man, I would again like to point out that before they had that rally, me and Monkey were on air saying that's a Fed trap. Don't
go.
Stephen A. Smith. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah. Even Stephen Smith.
Yeah, he did a whole video on the January 6th thing. He was just like, he was talking about the FBI informants and shit that were there doing illegal shit, and
the shit we've known for 2 years actually happened, and we suspected for the last 4.
Yes, another right-wing conspiracy.
Did you see that Joe pardoned a lady who murdered 3 people?
Yeah, I did see that.
She murdered.
He's talking about commuting the sentences of everybody on federal death row.
Yes, I saw that. This lady had
including the Christchurch bomber or shooter.
Well, he's going to commute it to life in prison, so guys, we just get to pay for it. It's not like the government kills people anyway. When was the last federal death sentence carried out?
I don't know, but they could at least. There's always the hope that we're going to execute them. So, because these are people that did egregious, awful shit, and you're going to give them some kind of generosity? No, fuck those people.
Well, the lady that he pardoned, she went to jail for insurance fraud. She got a 40-year sentence for insurance fraud for filing insurance claims on the men she killed.
Yeah.
And
what?
Yeah.
This is a real thing. And that's why he was able to pardon it. The state never charged her with murder because they figured, as old as she was at the time, that she'd spend the rest of her life in jail. And so they didn't have to worry about it. And along comes Biden and friends and like, nah, let that bitch out. She murdered 3 people.
And which is hilarious because when I read the news article, they said that Biden was pardoning a bunch of people with non-violent crimes.
Yes, non-violent.
Oh my God.
Well, technically, she was convicted of a non-violent crime.
True.
because they didn't charge her with the murders. Because let's face it, she's probably gonna do more time for the insurance scam anyway.
Bro, that is the loopiest of loopholes.
Yeah, that is disgusting. But
bitch got old privilege.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that he's doing with these pardons is grotesque.
And there's no way he's read through all of these and knows that, you know, this needs to happen. A woman going to jail for 40 years. She's been in there. I think it's since the 80s. Don't quote me on that. She's been there for a long time already. And if it was just insurance fraud, I could maybe see it. But you have to dig deep. What was the insurance fraud? Well, she murdered people and filled out insurance claims. Huh. Yeah, maybe we should keep that bitch behind bars.
If they're in federal prison for that long, they did something really bad.
And I understand the state not prosecuting her. If I saw Megyn Kelly talking about this, she's like, no, they should have still prosecuted her. Yeah, but she's going to jail anyway, and you have a ton of other cases. Fuck it.
It's kind of a waste of money at that point, because you assume they're going to actually do the follow through. But maybe they'll prosecute her for it now. There's no statute of limitations on murder.
Yep. It's the one crime that nowhere has a statute of limitations on. So they could put her back in prison. They just have to go through a whole trial on it.
I'm pretty sure the government oracle didn't tell them that Biden was going to be pardoning her.
I see these stories, like the one with the Chinese guy that everybody got so mad about, the 18 or 19-year-old Chinese student who had 47,000 images of child porn. I don't like it, but I understand why it was done. It was so that they could do the prison transfer or prison exchange with the Chinese.
Yeah, and to have Biden help one of his friends out.
I mean, yeah, it's where he gets his scratch and sniff pictures.
Yeah, his friend to the playground.
That one, I don't like it, but I understand the politics behind it and all that. There's a woman who just murdered 3 guys and tried to collect money for it, and somebody in the Biden administration we should let that bitch out of jail.
Maybe they proposed it as a joke, and then somebody was like, yeah, let's do that one. And they were like, no, wait, no, I was kidding. That's not a good idea. Why are you citing that? Stop.
I don't know. There's a pretty heavy sentiment in the Democratic circles right now of Biden just causing as much fucking havoc as possible before he leaves.
Yeah,
sure.
Because they were just talking about hiring 120 DEI aides to basically cause a bunch of chaos in the White House when he gets there, to make sure he has as much opposition as possible.
And for the record, this is what they accused Trump of doing when he left.
Oh, yeah.
Trump is going to cause chaos because he's just such a sore loser.
Yep. This is also what they said he was going to do if he lost.
Yep. Darth, thank you so much. I have a theory. It must be bunnies. No, wait. Is it something else? Theory. Kamala will be president and pardon Biden. See Twitter tag. I'll check it out, but that I have a theory. It must be bunnies. That's from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, from the musical episode. I have a theory. It must be bunnies.
Well, hold on. Biden already pardoned himself.
Did he?
Yeah, through his son.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. He literally said any crime he could have committed, or that anybody within his proximity committed within this 10-year frame. That includes him.
Scratch and sniff pictures. Tell me that you don't think Biden has a few that smell like kids. It was nice to see that when he arrived back at the White House yesterday, he was with one of his granddaughters. It's nice to know he acknowledges some of them.
Well, he got a late snack. He hadn't sniffed anybody lately. He was a little peckish.
I mean, it would have been cute to have little Navy aboard Marine One. I mean, come on.
The irony of that sentence alone.
But there ain't no way. Poor Navy, man. Do you think it's a blessing or a curse that she's not allowed to use the Biden name?
I'd say it's probably a blessing at this point, at least.
Yeah.
Especially since she's not Bo's kid, she's Hunter's kid. Poor kid. Hey, Navy, we don't blame you for your dad, okay? And I realize you have a rough start, but stay off the stripper poles, okay?
Yeah.
I know mom does it and daddy's not around, but there's other avenues you can take. All right.
How far back?
Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. So the plan was to turn the White House into a Diablo DEI dungeon.
That's funny as fuck.
Wow. Oh shit, I was not expecting that. So the plan was to turn the White House into a Diablo DEI dungeon for Trump. Yeah, basically. He's dodging blue hairs and fat chicks and anyhow. A little more Chris before I'm tired of his ass.
Back signs of this physical and mental decline went. And again,
he fell over standing up on a bike. He just mentioned physical decline, and I'm sorry, he was a little bit slower. There was a comedian once, I forget who it was, but he talked about how old men walk. It's like somebody like they bought their shoes from Kmart and they were still tied together.
Yeah.
And if you watch Biden from, say, when he was vice president till now, it's not a little decline in his movement. He can barely fucking walk.
Well, he likes to fall upstairs a lot.
He walks like somebody tied his shoes together. Anyhow.
Pooped his pants.
Poop my pants.
I don't put it just on myself.
That's a South Park reference. Poop my pants. Who was it that was it Rod Stewart that kept pooping?
I think so.
Pooped him.
Poop my pants.
Or just on journalists, because I know journalists did ask, and I can tell you, I mean, I know from my experience, there was a shame factor that went into that. People around Biden worked to make you feel bad when you asked whether he was up to the job of running.
Oh, so what you're saying is you'll believe anything Vladimir Putin says if he makes you feel bad.
They hurt my feelings. They hurt my feelings, so I couldn't report the news.
You're saying we invaded Ukraine. Oh, how dare you? That is so mean. We lovingly asked consent before penetrating. How dare you? How dare you? You're a bad person. Oh,
dude,
sorry.
like there's certain information that I hear people say, and I'm just like, you couldn't torture that information out of me. There is no way, as a supposed reputable journalist, that I could sit there and say in front of people that I didn't report on information because people were going to make me feel bad if I did.
Right.
It's embarrassing. You're a grown man.
Thank you. I was about to say, you are a grown-ass man, clearly as old as me. And you're worried about them saying you're being mean? Hey, Chris, I need you to go look up the name Ducey in the White House pool.
Yeah, he's put on some weight recently, but he'll still be around. Oh, Jesus.
He just said that shit out loud like that's a good reason for why he didn't do his job.
That's like saying to a bully, you hurt my feelings. Yeah, that was the point. Suck it up, pussy.
I don't know, man. That reminds me of a video I recently saw. This lady got on TikTok and she sat in front of the camera, set it up so she could tell the entire internet that she just got her ass whooped by her 5 and 7-year-old.
I think I saw that.
Like, that was the video. She's just like, yeah, my 5 and 7-year-old just beat me up. And I'm just like, wow. Dude, her 5 and 7-year-old couldn't beat that information out of me.
There's no dad in that house, is there?
No.
Clearly not. Because he would have been helping.
He was cheering it. Okay.
Of being president, running for president again, and serving as president for another 4 years. How could you?
There's an easy answer to that. If you question them, hey, does he have the ability to do this job? And they're like, how could you? you give examples of him like shitting himself at the Vatican.
I mean, the Easter Bunny had to guide him. Come on, man.
He got, I haven't brought this up yet. He got lost in the fucking garden at the White House.
There are literally large visual aids to tell you where you are going. Oh, Washington Monument's over there. If I turn around, I will see the house I live in.
As bad as the garden video is, there's a video of him getting lost on the steps outside of his office at the White House. A Marine had to show him where to go.
And how many times has he needed directions off stage?
He was shaking hands with invisible people.
Just because you can't see ghosts? I mean, it's the new Ghost Whisperer series. They spun it off. See, Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's doing like romance movies and shit now. They're going to have Biden as like Mr. Magoo fucking talking and helping ghosts. Like, and nobody's going to believe that he can see ghosts because he's just crazy.
Anytime they bring these people onto news programs, how dare you ask that? Oh, we have a video compilation. This is how.
Yeah.
Those are cheap fakes.
Like, explain any of this shit. In the video where he gets lost in the White House garden, you can see the White House. And they had to tell him where to go.
It was hidden. There was a giant David Copperfield style tarp in front of it, big green screen, hiding the White House. And David Copperfield made it disappear.
The White House disappear. Fuck. I miss the David Copperfield specials back in the day.
Yeah, I do too.
And they did a very good job, at least until they couldn't hide it anymore, of hiding it.
No, they did. They did a terrible job.
What?
Okay. His idea of a very good job of hiding it is, wait a minute, did the president just shit himself?
Nah, nothing to see here. Oh, okay.
That was them doing a good job at saying, nah, that's not what you saw.
They did wow. This is like if you hid Easter eggs for a kid in the middle of the floor and like, I hid that shit well.
Yeah. How tarded are these reporters?
The Easter eggs are like 5 pounds in neon fucking color.
Yeah.
And can I just point out that he just said that they shamed him into not asking, and then he said they hid it well. Well, why were you asking if it was so well hidden?
They hid it so well that we caught on at the beginning of the primary.
He's all over the place in this confession/apology.
They have to be, though. They have to find an excuse why they're not culpable. I'm innocent. They sound like Nazi guards, man.
Dude, this is exactly what the Democrats did when they lost. As soon as they lost the election, especially as bad as they did, and they seen how bad it was, they were just like, we need to find a minority group to blame this on quick.
Yeah. For those who don't know, it's Satsu's fault. He's a black man.
Oh, yeah. Satsu just does whatever you tell him to. I heard that from Mundane Matt. That's a reliable source. You can take.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I forgot about that.
I don't know how you forgot about that. That would enrage me for a decade. But yeah, seriously, like, is he going to say that he was only following orders next?
Probably. Let's find out.
So that it was very hard.
Oh my God, that last pause was his O face.
Hide it anymore.
Wait for
of
it,
hiding
get it
of
again.
Making
it
so that it was very hard to know. Yes, but he didn't do a lot of press conferences. Yes, he didn't do a lot of media interviews. But when he did things, the thing.
All right.
Sure, they were hiding him from us, but what did that mean?
But even with that, every time he was in public, it was a disaster.
Every time. Like every single time. As a matter of fact, the most coherent I think he was at any given point was that speech he did right after he lost. I think that was like the most coherent he was and that motherfucker had a big ass smile on his face and everything. It was the speech he did, I think, right before or it might have been a speech when he endorsed Kamala.
Is that the one that was just over the phone? Because I don't believe that was Biden on the phone.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't the over the phone one.
Yeah, that one was probably a deep fake of some kind.
I don't believe that was Biden at all. I just don't.
No, I think his best speech was probably the one where he looked like a authoritarian from a creepy like V for Vendetta sequel with all the red behind him.
The Dark Brandon speech. They tried to embrace that shit like it would look how badass he is. Like he's a mentally challenged fascist. What are you talking about?
Yeah. You
guys love it. How do you love that word so much and not know what it actually means?
Oh my God, that has been a... Speaking of, can anybody explain to me why our current new dictator is waiting for the peaceful transfer of power?
It depends who you ask. Some say he's in office now.
No, it's not him. It is the oligarch. Get used to that word, guys.
Oh yeah.
The oligarch Elon Musk that's in charge.
Dun dun dun.
Hilariously enough, Kamala's entire backing was exclusively million and billionaires and million and billionaire companies, and they're just like Trump's party represents those people. I'm just like, wait, but they all backed Kamala though.
No, she got tons of small donations from people who didn't know they were making them.
What, Act Blue?
Yeah, that's a real thing. A lot of people who supposedly donated to Kamala have been asked about it, and they're like, I didn't give her any money. But they maxed out donations, the $2,800 you can give directly to a candidate. Yeah, tons of them.
I love the fact that she made like over $1 billion and still ended up in debt at the end of it.
She raised $1 billion in 3 months and blew through all of it. It's the same shit we saw in 2019 when she had 40 million and blew through all of it before she got to the actual primary.
Yeah, because she was fucking paying Beyonce like all the YouTubers and stuff. She paid like a bunch of influencers. She reached out to a bunch of influencers who actually came out and was like, y'all, what is it? Kai Cenat was like, bro, she won't stop calling me, man.
I don't understand these ones that are out there like, I didn't get paid at all. Like, well, then you were dumb.
Dude, Monkey, you know me, man. I hate hypocrites. I have a lot of integrity. But I'm so fucking poor right now that I would have 100% endorsed her for money. 100%, dude. We are fucking struggling over here, dude. I would have been like, oh yeah. And then I'd have came out afterwards and be like, yep, I did it. Fuck you. I gotta feed my family.
I don't that would have been something you had to do against your own interest. These are people who are clearly like Harry Sisson and that Chris Gay kid. They're like, we did not get paid for this. Like, then you're stupid because everybody else doing it did.
Mm-hmm.
If you truly believe in that and they were going to pay you for it, why wouldn't you get paid?
Like Oprah's filthy fucking rich. She still made Kamala pay for all of her shit.
And that bitch had to lie. I did not get any money. No, your company did, you lying whore. Anyway, we're talking about the testicle.
Thing I always remember is he gave the State of the Union speech earlier this year, and he was fine.
Was he?
Hey, Chris, I'm fairly certain. I'm fairly certain my VOD of that is still up. You should probably go watch it. Just saying. You might pick up some shit.
There were no obvious signs of decline. I mean, yes, he looked like a 70, an 80-year-old guy, but I wasn't like, this man cannot under no circumstances be president. So
sometimes we cover stuff on here and then we hear other people talk about it. And I wonder if we watch the same things. Like when we covered Kamala's debate and everybody, she did so good. And she literally didn't answer a single question.
Yeah.
Yes, and then proceeded for the next month to say everything she said that day to literally everybody else she talked to in every other interview.
You actually missed that she took a month off before doing that. Yeah, we watched that, and then we see other people talking. She did so good, and I saw Republicans saying that, and I'm like, what did you watch? They're like, Trump got baited so easily through that whole thing. Like, you realize Trump blasting people is what a lot of people like him for, right? That he was just being Trump, and even Megyn Kelly, he didn't look good. Like, yeah, he looked fine, and she looked horrible if you actually paid attention to what she said. And I didn't see anything with Biden when he slurred through the whole thing. I'm doing a lisp, which is probably wrong because I'm not sure that he's gay. I mean, I'm sure his wife knows, but
so does his boyfriend.
How could you have not seen it? He literally slurred through the damn thing. No, it's just that stutter.
There's a whole clip specifically of him doing exactly that. And then Trump, after he finished talking, was like, I'm not really sure what the fuck he just said, but
fuck, man.
He did a good job of hiding it for a long time. But journalists, and I put myself here,
you're not. You're a propagandist. At least say it right. I put myself in because nobody else will. Even CNN won't hire you. How fucked up do you have to be that you can be fired by CNN and MSNBC doesn't snatch you up?
Ask Don Lemon.
Right?
Yeah. That doesn't at all say I'm really difficult to work with.
Fucking Don Lemon decided I'm going to go to this job interview and insult the person who's supposed to be hiring me. And then I'm going to cry racism because he did.
Yeah, that's on brand, though.
I can't believe Don Lemon is still a thing.
Dude, Don Lemon is one of the most disgraceful CNN reported. Like, if you go back and look at every major debate or interview that Don Lemon has done, he has gotten owned by every single person he has ever debated or interviewed. They have embarrassed him every time.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do, it looks like. So
we should have been pushier. We should
No. What you should have done is been honest.
Pushier, like, that suggests that you were pushy at all.
Exactly. And it absolves them of just going along to get, I don't even want to say to get along, going along because they agreed. We should have been pushier. No, you should have just been honest. You should have said, look, even if the White House is like, that's ageist, you could have come out and been like, this shit is concerning to me.
Yeah. How do you explain this? What happened in this situation? What is this video evidence? Like, why has he has not had interviews in such a long time? Like, there's so many qualifying questions as a journalist that you could have asked to dig deeper. But
no, and I hear what you say, but you didn't need to dig. You could have just reported what everybody else was saying. And instead, you have people like Stelter out there going, can you believe Fox News talked about this while the rest of us were talking about this thing the White House wants us to talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally, I've seen Stelter do that at least a dozen times. Like, Fox News is talking about how Joe Biden shit himself while we're all talking about how great he did in Afghanistan. Can you believe this shit? And that's with the acknowledgement that Fox News is rather liberal. It's another one of those Overton window things. They're considered conservative now just because they're being a little bit more actual journalists than everyone else is. Barely. And not talking about the pundits that are on from 8 through 11. I'm talking about their actual news shit. Or what they claim is news. Anyway.
I should have, I don't want to speak for everyone, I should have not let the
What? You're not speaking for everyone to say you all should have done a better job. That's criticizing everyone, you stupid shitbag.
Well, you don't want to do that.
What are you, a bigot?
Unless he's actually making the argument that he's wrong now, it's perfectly fine to say everybody should have done a better job. Except for us, because we were there.
We should have, I don't want to speak for everyone. I should have not let the shame campaign to make you feel bad for asking the question get to me. Because it's now clear from both the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times piece that there was real deterioration even before. And by the way, all the reporting that we've seen since the June 27th debate, it's not just these two stories, that there was real and significant decline in Joe Biden, and that it was being...
Man, this dude, this entire thing, he has had a gun aimed at his foot, and he just keeps pulling the trigger.
There seems to be a lot of ammo in that gun, too.
Dude, how many bullets are in that clip, sir?
Do you have an extended magazine, sir? Because that's not legal in your state.
Jesus Christ. Dude, everything he says contradicts like the overall message. Like, does he understand how damaging what he just said is?
No, he doesn't, because he's a retard.
Jesus.
All right. You've told us repeatedly that it was hidden well, and now you're telling us that looking back, you can see it.
It was hidden so well until I decided to stop ignoring it, and then boom, it was right there.
Fuck!
Like, everybody said, don't look at the man behind the curtain. So I looked around him. And then one day I was like, oh my God, there's a guy there.
What do you know? I actually looked behind the curtain, and sure enough,
we are literally witnessing the emperor has no clothes. Like all along,
with a special needs kid.
Biden has been naked, and it wasn't until the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times just pointed out that he's naked that they all noticed it.
Well,
Bro.
First they noticed a bare shoulder, and then they noticed the collarbone, and then it slowly grew from there. That's what I got out of this.
There's a reason we tell those stories to kids, things like the emperor has no clothes. It's so that when you grow up, you learn to be discerning and not this prick.
I just listening to this, I'm like, man, this was not thought out.
They hit it so well that we can see it. Okay.
Doesn't this guy have awards and stuff for being like a reporter?
They give reporters awards all the time. It doesn't mean anything.
I know, but it just goes to show how worthless awards are.
Even the Pulitzer's a joke, man.
Yeah.
The award of journalism, the one everybody wants, is a fucking joke. All right. Chris.
Being managed by the people around him, they were insulating him. They were keeping sort of the political world out and keeping him sort of bunkered in.
No, stop it. Stop. Yes, Biden was more hidden than most presidents, but it's not like he was never in public. We're not talking about the campaign here where he put a lid on it at 8:30 in the morning. And even then, there were examples. He's acting like, looking back, his excuse now is we can see how much they hid it. Hid what? There's whole YouTube compilations of Joe Biden tripping over his words and slurring. The dipshit here, they blocked me on YouTube, so I couldn't see it. They put a block there at CNN on YouTube videos about what a disaster Biden is. I just want to point out to you guys that he's lying to you about this shit, about something that is pretty, I don't want to say it's minor, but the cover-up part of it is minor. Having a president who's a drooling retard's not a minor thing, but just the cover-up of it, they were going along to get along kind of thing where, yeah, they're on the same side, so they were trying to, put their best foot forward and stuff. Imagine the other shit that they flat out lie to you about.
And if he was reading the room, right, like, I get like you want to stick to your base or whatever, but like the foundation of your base has crumbled. Like, it's not crumbling. Like, the shit, it's already in shambles. Like, everybody who's smart enough to know, like Anna Kasperi, like she was like, oh, I see the writing on the wall. Let me get the fuck out of here. Like, she straight up is like, she like, no. Even Charlemagne, like, and I really fucking hate Charlemagne the God, but like even him, too. He just like, bro, like this shit. He even went on the View. Like I had zero respect for him, but I got 1% when he went on the View and actually sat in the middle of all them chicks and like took them on head on and basically called them fake and phony to their faces. I was like, all right, bro, you get 1 brownie point for that one at least. But like, it's in his best interest to be honest, because ain't nobody buying this bullshit, dude. Look at his comment section. If you look at the comment section of this video, nobody's buying this shit.
It's one thing to just ignore it, which, by the way, Chris, is what you should have done. It's the media. It's how the media handles this shit when they're caught, being lying shitbags. But they're trying to regain credibility by admitting
lying more.
We're so well. They did the same thing in 2016. If you remember, there were a whole bunch of stories written after 2016 where like, we have not done a good job at giving both sides of the argument. Do you guys remember that shit?
Yeah.
And then what they do? Immediately went back to doing that same shit for the next 4 years. Lied continuously. Because there's no repercussions for it. And this is why the laws on slander need to change. Anyway.
And that should have been something we knew more about. Now, you can argue, well, what does it matter? Biden eventually got out of the race, and it's not like it's sure, but he'd been the president for the last 4 years. So it's critically important. And we've learned, by the way, questions about presidential health, mental and physical health, whether it's...
Hey, Brian. Oh, sorry. Whoops.
Yeah.
Chris, can you think of a question you should probably be asking now that you realize Biden has been fucking absent for 4 years? Who's doing the job? Everybody in the press who's like, oh my God, Biden really is. Who's doing the job? That should be your number one question right fucking now. He's still president for another month. That's a scary fucking thought. He's still president. Who is doing the job? Who has been in charge? He just played. You might think, what does it matter? He dropped out of the race. We elected Joe Biden to be president. Who's been doing that job? If you ask that question, are they going to shame you and make you feel bad?
Yeah, they'll hurt his feelings.
I mean, that is the number one follow-up right there. Who's in charge? It's not Klain anymore. He's gone. Who's running this place?
Dude, every time I think about this presidency, the only thing I could picture is like Joe Biden at Dave and Buster's, and he's sitting on the front of the little motorcycle on the game, and Obama's behind him, and he actually has his feet on the ground and he's steering, and Biden's like, I'm doing it. And and Obama's like, yep, you're doing a good job, buddy.
You're rocking it, Chief. Oh God. And we can't even say it's Kamala because she's too drunk to be doing it right now. Even if she was doing it the last 4 years, she's been drunk for 2 months.
I wouldn't trust that bitch to run a vacuum.
Well put.
Well, I mean, would that be like operating a motor vehicle drunk?
And especially if you're sitting here telling us the White House lied to the press over and over about him being so mentally there. Shouldn't you be demanding answers on who's running shit? And be like, no, you're not going to shame me this time. You lied to me once. Who's who? And he's just like, I realized, look, but he did drop it. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? That's why the meme of Obama's third term. I don't think Obama's that involved, honestly. I don't think it's Obama.
No, it seems like it's a bunch of holdovers from the Obama administration, like people that worked for Obama that want to further that agenda. But I don't think Obama wants to get anywhere near this catastrophe.
Well, I would have agreed with that if Obama didn't come out and start shaming black men for not voting for him and saying like, hey, look, I know you guys might have some holdups about this, but you know, if you can't make such an obvious decision, then the only thing I can think of is you just hate women, and that's unacceptable. So go out there and vote like good Negroes. And I'm just like, Obama, really? What's so funny? I don't know if you guys ever watched that clip, because I know a lot of people heard about that.
Yeah.
If you ever seen that clip, go look at the facial expressions on all the dudes that he's talking to. Most of them dudes like, dude, if you wasn't like a past president, like I'd probably whoop your ass right now, because he was in there talking to them like, dude, I felt like I was watching like an episode of Family Matters.
Yeah, it's so condescending.
And like the black dad was just like scolding the children. I'm just like, bro, this is crazy. Like these are grown ass men, dude. What are you doing?
We lost Bunky.
Oh, did we?
I'm back.
Oh, there he is. Yay.
Yeah, my internet just disconnected. I just had to reconnect it. I don't know. Anyway, what were we talking about?
I was just talking about that because he said that you were saying that you don't think that Biden or Obama was involved, but I was like, I would have thought that if I didn't have to watch that clip of him scolding those grown black men. And I was talking about the expression on their faces. Did you see that video, or did you just hear about it?
No, we watched it on the show.
Okay, yeah. Go back and look at the facial expressions of the dudes that he was talking to when I told him it felt like I was watching one of those old sitcoms with the black dad scolding the kids.
Yeah,
that's what it sounded like. It didn't sound like he was talking to a bunch of adult voters who are making the decision on voting. It sounded like he was scolding his children for being disappointed because he was disappointed in them.
And the shit that he was saying too. I mean, like there was no possible reason to have any questions about Kamala unless you were sexist and maybe a little racist. Like, did you really just say that to black men?
Yeah. Looked them all in the face and said, yeah, I mean, if you don't know who to vote for, clearly you just hate women, and that's not okay. So you know what you need to do.
He could have gone up there and been like, I understand some of y'all might have some problems with some of what she's done, but I can let's talk about those things. What is it that makes you question that? And giving answers to what y'all are sexist. When does that work except on Chris Cillizza?
Dude, you're just bad people.
What's so crazy is I firmly believe that if given enough time, the Democrats would have pulled that instead of what they did. If they would have came out and said, all right, look, we've been telling y'all what the problem is for years. We've been telling you what you should care about, telling you what you should feel like is important, telling you what all the important things you should be voting for. But we're going to stop that right now. From this point on, we're going to talk to you. We're going to figure out what's important to you, what your problems are, and we're going to discuss and address that. They could have won. They actually could have won. But instead, they're just like, no, we know what your problem is. And even if you say it's something else, it's because you're too stupid and uneducated to know better. So just vote like you're supposed to and shut the fuck up. That was their tactic. And they like, that should work. And I'm just like, I don't think it's gonna.
Planet in chat says it was 100% Obama's foreign policy the whole time. One, Obama isn't smart enough to have foreign policy. The same people that were working under him were working for Biden. It's their foreign policy. Obama's not a smart guy. He's a charismatic guy, but he's not a smart guy.
I mean, considering Obama's foreign policy was, I'm going to just take a handful of bombs and then lift them over countries I don't like and open my hand.
Yeah.
And then deporting the most fucking immigrants, illegal immigrants than any president in fucking U.S. history. Like, I don't know if we want to say that foreign policy was his forte.
Well, and even with if you go back and look, that deportation thing is a lie. They changed the way they counted it to where they included encounters at the border, people who were trying to come across
that were turned back.
Like, see, we deported a whole bunch. Like, no, that's just normal.
Well, what's so funny is like that's such a weird lie because initially they were boasting those numbers to put on his accomplishment list.
Yep.
But then sometime afterwards, once people realized, because they like any president that deports illegal immigrants is a monster, and they like, are you sure about that? Because Obama was the best at it. He had the high score, and they're like, that can't be true. And they went to go look it up.
Look what they did with the kids in cages.
Yeah.
Like,
Obama's
can you believe
cages.
Trump the pictures were literally taken when Obama was president. And they're like, look at Trump putting kids in cages.
I'm just like, zoom in.
No, see, Monkey, you just pointed out more evidence for my case that Trump is a time traveler.
He must be.
He's not even president and he can do stuff. It's amazing how that works.
He wasn't even running at the time those pictures were taken.
And you know who must have invented that time machine? Elon Musk, our real president.
That oligarch.
What's so crazy, though, is Obama built the cages and used them specifically for that purpose. Yeah. Trump came in and he was just like, well, they're here, so I'm going to use them too. And then Biden like badmouthed him about it and then was like, I guess I'll use them also.
Because there's no place for him. We don't have enough space. Anyhow, so I
know a place that has lots of space. Mexico.
Yeah, true. I just love how those pictures look like the drunk tank in any 80s movie.
Oh my God. Oh, Monkey, the funniest thing I've seen in regards to that is a lot of the countries that have been sending people over here for the past 4 or something odd years have said that when Trump comes into office, it's not advisable for him to send people back because they don't have room.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Well, as Trump has pointed out, some of them have been like cleaning out their prisons and go north.
Yeah.
Yeah, Venezuela's been notorious for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have all those gang members here from that gang I can't pronounce.
Hey, that's only a couple of buildings in Colorado.
Yeah.
Which once again started off as a little Charmander and eventually evolved.
Okay.
It's Ronald Reagan or Kennedy or FDR. We've seen a lot of it. Trump, we've seen a lot.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Got out of the race. And it's not like he's sure, but he's been the president for the last 4 years. So it's critically important. And we've learned, by the way, questions about presidential health, mental and physical health, whether it's Ronald Reagan or Kennedy or FDR. We've seen a lot of.
What were the questions about Kennedy's health?
He had Addison's.
Okay, I guess I should ask, what's the comparison here?
He wants to point out he knows some history.
Okay. And to that point, with FDR, I think FDR was dumb and a lot of what he did caused the problems we're dealing with today, but there's no evidence he was like mentally addled for most of his presidency.
No, I think they're talking about the press hiding the fact that he was crippled.
But those Ronald Reagan, I'll give him, because by the end, there's no question he was in the throes of Alzheimer's. But bringing up the questions about their mental and physical health, nobody cares that Biden can't walk upstairs. They care that he doesn't know that he's walking upstairs. If Biden was in a wheelchair and mentally all there, we wouldn't have this discussion.
Look, your hate facts, they have no place here.
Didn't JFK have back injuries? Yes, he did. Really bad ones, points where he couldn't move some days. Anyhow.
Trump, we've seen a lot of this where
what about Trump?
A lack of transparency. So we need to learn.
No. Trump's doctor came out and said he's fine, and you guys all called it a lie. All of you. It's just his friend who's a doctor. You can't point to a single fucking thing that the doctor got wrong.
He examined Trump. That's where he went wrong.
And he threw Trump in there like we know something about some physical or mental problems that he's having.
Fascism?
Some of the comments in that very video were just like, so are you going to also apologize for barely covering the mental problems that Trump has?
I've seen some of that. Like Trump even addressed like the water thing. He takes 2 hands to drink water. He actually addressed that. Unlike Biden, where any question is just like, it's a stutter. He explained it. He doesn't want to drip shit on his tie. And remember the one of where he needed help walking down the ramp, and they're like, see, it's because it was a slippery ramp and he was wearing dress shoes.
Well, and once again, though, that just the fact that you can even mention that, like, we have very subtle things that if you want to be very disingenuous, you can say that, oh, well, Trump's on the mental decline too, but you have to be paying extra fucking close attention to that. But if you can sit here and tell us that you notice any of that and you think of those as legitimate signs, then you've already lost the argument. Like you've proven that you are capable of seeing these things. You just have been ignoring them.
And with Trump, if you listen to the way he talks now versus the way he talked, say, back in the 80s, he was on TV all the time. You don't see a major difference in it. His voice has changed a little bit, but he's just it's not like his speech is slowed down or
no. Trump has always been a fucking rambling dude. One thing, like, I've never disliked Trump like throughout all the time I've known him, but whenever I heard him speak on anything, I'm like, Trump has always been a fucking rambler.
Yes,
like he always goes on and on about shit and gets off a topic or like mentions some side shit that didn't really have nothing to do. I'm like, that's what he's always done. Like,
yep. And it's why I can't watch his rallies is because he just goes off on tangents, and he, like you said, literally has always done that. And they're like, see, this is proof he's declining. He was talking about this thing, and then he started talking about that thing.
Yeah, dude, his fucking victory speech, I was just like, all right, bro, shut the fuck up.
Thank you. I was the same way. And people are like, no, this is a good speech. I'm like, no, this is rambly shit. Stop.
I'm like, dude, just please. Okay, we get it. Like, god damn, dude.
Just declare yourself God Emperor and go to bed, man. It's late. Yeah, he rambles a lot, but he's always done that. And Joe Biden, again, we have the video of him from when he was in Congress, and you listen to him, and he's articulate as Joe ever was. He's not slurring. His words are crystal clear. There's no hint of any kind of stutter. And then you see him today and listen to him. It's like 2 different people. We couldn't see the signs. You're a fucking retard, man.
Our lesson, I think. We're
and for the record, if I see Trump get like that, I will be one of the first going, something needs to be done here.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things that they're like, you guys would do it for your side. No, when Mitch McConnell glitched out, I'm like, this motherfucker needs removed now.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, but once again, though, if you look at all the tactics of the Democrats over the past years, everything that they do, everything that they fearmonger about, everything that they try to warn you about is all stuff that they've either done, will do, or are planning to do.
Yeah. Nut says he knows he does it too. He has said he always brings it back to the point, but I'm not sure about that. I think he generally does bring it back to the point, but it is like getting a story from my wife where I have to hear everybody who's tangentially related to it before we get to the point.
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like that was the case at some point, but personally, and there's some people may disagree. I feel like I feel like Trump has become much more of a politician over the years, where a lot of his political answers kind of dance around the questions a lot more than they used to. That's just something that I've noticed kind of listening to him or whatever, where they'll ask him something very specific and he'll say some shit that's kind of related, but not really. And at the end of it, you're like, wait, that wasn't what the fuck they asked. But like it's not as that's like politician shit. That's not like, oh, he's degrading. I just think he's becoming more of a fucking politician.
That's media training.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're 100% right on that. But he does it. Nobody likes to have to talk badly about themselves, and there's some things that are not defensible. And so, yeah, you get that kind of answer. But the whole idea of him going all over the place, Satsu, did you ever see the transcripts, what was released of his interview, where he started talking about, what was it, Jack? The guy got his dick cut off or
burned. He got
burned.
Yeah, burned off.
He's
talking about Biden, not Trump now.
Yeah, sorry. Where Biden, he's answering some question about Hunter, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he started talking about Bo, and then he started talking about this guy that was horribly burned and got his dick burned off, and he ended up dying, I think. It was fucking horrific story. And you can tell that, like, when he's telling the story, he's got, like, this Biden half smile, like the Joker, and he's like, hey, it's kind of funny, right? Ugh.
And no, I am unfamiliar with that.
Oh, fuck. We got to find that transcript and send it to Satsu. It's funny as shit. Because it is out of the blue and it has nothing to do with the question. And he keeps even saying, well, I'll bring this back. And then at the end, he's just kind of like, yeah. It is one of the most insane things we ever read on the show. It was funny as fuck.
Oh, dude, some of my favorite moments are Biden's anyway moments.
Oh, yes.
Where when he like goes off on some shit and then he completely loses his train of thought. And anyway, like right in the middle of a point. And I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean, sir?
I just love that out there somewhere is actual legal documents of Joe Biden telling a story about a guy getting his dick burned. It just makes me happy to know that exists.
Anyway. I wish they'd release the whole thing. We could do a fucking reenactment of the interview. It'd be such a good episode.
Yes. I still want the actual interview release, and I hope Trump does that. I really do. Or Kash Patel, because it was the FBI interview, right?
Yeah, it was the FBI. So Kash Patel could do it.
Kash, we need to read that, or just show us the video, because I really, really want to see it.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, that's another one. I mean, the signs weren't obvious. Chris, did you read about the burned dick story? Because seriously.
No, that was fake news. It was declared as such by professionals.
There were no signs. You're an idiot.
In his late 70s, we know very little about his medical history. I think we as journalists need to keep asking questions. Have you seen any signs of his mental or physical decline? Now, his aides may just say, no, he's great.
Now you need to ask these questions now that Biden's term is over and an old man is coming into office.
Dude, literally, and they're not fooling anybody. The only reason he's doing this is to set groundwork to question Trump's in the future. That's it.
We have to ask because we didn't last time.
Yeah, no, it's important that we start doing that because we need another Trump card. Trump card, you get it? We need another. We need another fucking ace in our pocket to talk shit about Trump and claim that he's unfit. I don't know about y'all. Like genuinely, I was talking to my wife about this. I'm like, I am so glad that the era of Trump and Biden will hopefully. I don't know about Biden because Biden might forget in 4 years that and be like, yeah, I'm running again. But like once this Trump shit is over, I'm gonna be really glad because like it's been a ride and it's been entertaining. But fuck, I like please. Once this shit is over, I'm gonna have a huge fucking sigh of relief. Like Jesus Christ.
Well, and on the plus side, that would be true with the Clintons too, because in 4 years they're all going to be way too old to run again.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not really going to go away. It's just going to change a little bit. I don't know who the Democrats are going to put up in 2028. They don't have a very deep bench.
Come on, Kamala.
I will say this though. This is what I believe this wholeheartedly. And y'all better document this shit for future references because I want all the fucking credit when it happens because I'm saying that it's gonna. Our first female president is going to be a Republican.
Oh yeah, I've already said that. And if I'm the Republicans, I make sure it happens next time.
Oh yeah,
No,
100%.
no, it's going to be AOC.
Oh,
She couldn't even. Did you see her get embarrassed in Congress and cry? Oh, she decided to run for a leadership position and she ended up losing to an actual politician. And she gave this whiny interview about how sad it was, and she's still going to push through, and things will be okay.
Oh, that fucking Chicago chick that got fucked over. She was talking all that shit about how she was guaranteed to win. And she was talking about how with her 2 jobs, she got like a $200,000 salary from one and a $50,000 salary from the other. And she was just like, they're like, what are you going to do if you lose? And she was like, that's not a possibility. Like, obviously I'm going to win. Like, she's super ghetto, like straight up, ghetto as fuck, like her whole demeanor. And she was just, talking mad shit about how she was guaranteed to win and all that shit. And then they fucking had a special vote beforehand to basically stop her from to basically cut any chances of her winning at all. And she was furious. Like, she was so pissed. And they just like, well, what you gonna do now, bitch? Because you were really sure about this the other day.
Yeah, that's why you can't be that sure. You gotta have some humility. Keldrick, thank you. Keep asking questions. When the fuck did they start asking questions? Election night. They literally ignored the obvious with Biden. No, Keldrick, have you not been listening? It was just well hidden.
It was well hidden. It was well hidden, like your 200-pound Great Dane hiding underneath your coffee table because he ate your sandwich.
I don't. What elephant? What elephant from what was that? Dumbo Drop or something? Where the guy standing in front. It's like the Leslie Nielsen thing with all the explosions. Nothing to see here.
I was thinking of Scary Movie when he tried hiding under the carpet.
Yeah. I want to read something real quick, if you don't mind. Sure. It's a bit of a long one. This poor kid is down 100-foot vessel chimney, scraping the hydrogen bubbles off the inside, Biden told her. And he was wearing the wrong pants, wrong jeans, and a spark caught fire. It got caught in the containment vessel, and he lost part of his penis and one of his testicles. And he was 23 years old.
That is part of the testimony he was giving in regard to Hunter and the business dealings.
Yes. The paragraph. Biden then detailed a bizarre episode during one of his first jobs out of law school involving a 23-year-old construction worker with a seared penis and a missing testicle, and how the case ultimately led him to enter politics. And again, he was not asked about that. He was asked about classified documents.
That's what it was, classified documents. And it led to him talking about a dude getting his testicle and penis burned.
Oh, my God. Speaking of, and the thing that got me, though, is you guys remember we had 7,952 fact checkers when Trump was in office.
Oh, yeah.
And these motherfuckers was running overtime. They literally counted, or quote unquote counted, every single lie that Trump has ever told since the moment he got into office. Where the fuck did all those jobs go? I'm like, what happened to those people? Where did they go?
They're still fact checkers. The one who was keeping the database of Trump's lies was the Washington Post's Glenn Kessler. And when Biden was elected and got into office, he said he was shutting down the presidential lie database because Biden's really not going to probably be lying all that much. This is a man who had to drop out of the 88 race for lying.
Dude, there is a compilation right now of Biden claiming that he grew up in every possible neighborhood you could possibly grow up in.
Oh, yeah.
He has a story about how he grew up in every neighborhood that every other human being has ever grew up in America. Well, he has a full-blown story about it.
No, you see, he grew up in a mostly black neighborhood where they practiced Puerto Rican politics.
Yeah.
And they worshiped like Haitians.
In fairness, he didn't say he grew up in a Puerto Rican neighborhood, just that they had Puerto Rican politics, which I'm not sure what that is.
I don't either. I guess they vote for corruption and don't speak English.
I was going to say, given the state of Puerto Rico, it's not good.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I was wondering about, because I don't pay attention enough to like make the comparison, but is it kind of just a Democratic thing for them to have like the "I'm just like you" speeches?
No,
because I don't see a lot of like I said, I don't pay enough attention. It's probably why I don't see it, but I don't see a lot of Republicans doing that.
It's a trick in politics that they all try to pull off. With George Bush, it was he's the guy you want to have a beer with,
right?
Yeah, the Republicans have dialed it back because it comes off as disingenuous when they do it.
Well, and they also had Trump. How are you going to pretend he's just like you?
Yeah.
Man's got a gold toilet, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, you know what? When I was looking at a video, they were asking people like, why do they like Trump? Because particularly black people, because you know they like to shame black people into not being trained properly. Mm-hmm. So they were asking him, and he was like, I can't really say anything about Trump because I don't really know a lot about him, to be perfectly honest. But he was like, the thing that I can say that I do like about Trump versus everybody else is he was like, he's the only politician that I can think of that has not tried to prove to me or talk about how he understands what I'm going through, or talk about like how he gets, you know, I grew up like you. He straight up is just like, yeah, like we're from different worlds. I experienced this. I couldn't imagine what the fuck you're going through, but I want to make your life better. And that's it. He was like, he seems to genuinely care about America, which is like taboo now. Like, you know, you're supposed to hate America now. Like, that's the thing. So he was like, that's really it. Like the fact that he just even though I can't relate to nothing this dude does because he's rich, and like there's no way I can relate to him. It feels like he's being genuine when he's talking to me.
Yeah, Kamala could have come out and said, I've lived a privileged life, and even we've had some struggles with that. I can't imagine what it's like for you people who didn't grow up with all of the advantages I have. And instead, she's like, I'm from a middle-class family.
Yeah, I used to cook collard greens in the bathtub. Monkey, when she said that shit, Black Twitter went fucking nuts. Dude,
you don't mind.
Black Twitter was like, no, this bitch did not. She was like, I'm as black as they come, and I ain't never put no fucking collard greens in no motherfucking bathtub.
Yeah, it
must be an Indian thing. I want to talk about one of my favorite stories from this last year was Trump gets arrested and convicted. And what did the mainstream media do? They went out and like, hey, black people, do you feel like Trump is like you guys now? And I was like,
wow,
really?
That where you guys are going with this? You sure? It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
And they did it without any shame at all. Just went out and called black people criminals, and reported, yeah, with him getting arrested, black people feel like he's one of them.
Look, dude, they deleted that shit in record time, but it was so funny. I laughed so hard, dude. I almost pissed myself. I was laughing so hard.
Oh God, it's like they're allergic to common sense.
Well, have you seen some of these people?
Oh, it's we only have a minute and a half. There's no two. Oh fuck, almost 2 full minutes left. All right, come on, blue glasses. Why has he got blue Sally Jesse glasses on? Just get the red ones, dude. It doesn't make him more masculine to have them blue. You look like you smoke cock. I'm just saying.
Well, maybe it's a dog whistle of sorts.
100%. But keep digging. If there are those signs, there will be the people who are worried about it. And we should have gotten to those people with Biden.
Oh,
that color is Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh.
And I'm not talking about the band.
The Blue Oyster Bar. Did you notice he just said we again?
Yeah, He likes to say that.
But he can't speak for them. He told us that earlier. Chris, you suck at your job, man.
Yeah, he kind of does.
This is a 10-minute video. We're only 8 minutes and 27 seconds into it, and you've contradicted yourself so many times already.
More and more frequently. to accurately represent what was happening in the White House, and then let the
wait. Can I just talk about something real quick? I'm gonna, because I have the mic and the control.
Just like no,
doing it anyway. He keeps talking about needing to question the White House and press the question and press the question. They asked Trump question. Son of a bitch. Sorry, I'm back. My internet cut out for a second. He keeps talking about how we need to question more. When you guys would question Trump and he'd give you an answer, you guys would be like, even though he said that, we don't believe him.
Yeah. Even when it was like super straightforward and just like there was no, it was like a straight up, y'all would question actual facts that he would straight up just say just because he said it. And y'all had no problem with that.
You guys told people that Trump would have to be removed from office by the military. You didn't go question the White House about it and then give us their answer. You just fucking lied about it. But suddenly with this, no, we could look, we have to have a source on the record. Our eyes don't work. Dangerous, thank you so much. Picking up dinner the other night, and some guy got right in my face, waving and drooling all over himself. Clearly, they're with a carer or family. Looking at Chris Cillizza's face reminds me of that moment.
Oh my God.
You got jacked. Satsu, I attract crazy people. Jack attracts retards.
I attract weirdos.
Same thing.
It's a approximately 500-foot field, and as long as I don't make direct eye contact, I'm generally okay. But it's called freak magnetism for a reason. And if there's a weirdo and they find me, I'm their new best friend.
Yeah, you got Jack, Dangerous.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes the universe is just a little skew. Happens to me way too frequently.
Tell me that that pause frame right there is not him going, we're not going to tell your mom and dad, are we?
Oh no. I can see why you would say that, but I thought that was the what did we learn from that?
Comrade Kitty, thank you so much. This just in, Trump says breathing is good.
Oh, son of a bitch. He wants you to take horse breathing.
I said this way back when Trump first got elected, that if Trump cured cancer, the media would come out like, Trump puts oncologists out of work.
No, it would say Trump was instrumental in helping cure cancer. Here's why this is a bad thing.
Yeah, he put black oncologists out of work because he's racist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. Anyway.
Public make up their own mind. But I think at least for the first couple of years of his presidency, maybe the first 3 years, the image of him as a older but hale and hearty older man prevailed. And I'm not sure, based on these two stories, the Journal story and the Time story, I'll link to both below, but also just all the reporting we've seen since June 27th, since the debate. I'm not sure that was an accurate, in fact, I don't think at all that was an accurate depiction of his physical and mental state.
You mean because we have video of it?
No, because his friends wrote about
it. For the first 3 years, there's this image of, one, who was telling you that lie, dipshit? But two, it's on video. You guys came out when he fell over just standing up on a bicycle and like, what? It happens to everybody. Do you guys remember that they were like, this happens to world-class bicyclists? Even people who win the Olympics fall over sometimes.
Oh, dude, they were coming up with all kinds of mental gymnastics.
I'm not sure looking back that he was okay.
Dude, even when he called half of America garbage, they were on MSNBC like, well, as a person with a stutter, I heard the comma at the end of that. I'm just like, you heard the comma? You did? Is that right?
Literally said those words, heard the comma.
It was in the audio penumbra.
Fuck. Oh, God. All right. We're almost done. Even if he had good days and bad days, well, he had bad days.
and those bad days were pretty bad. And when you're
But I didn't notice them till I read about them in the New York Times.
Did anybody hear that gunshot again?
How do you notice that they're bad now but missed it then?
He's running out of toes, y'all.
Fuck. Dangerous. Thank you, Kaylee McKinney. Let me tell you, several examples of Trump disavowing white supremacy. Whatever stupid journalist was asking the question, but that was in the past. Motherfucker, what? Yeah, it was actually a Fox journalist that did that. That's one of our biggest things I point to, and I'm like, Fox is not the conservative folks you think they are.
It's so crazy too, because the argument isn't he hasn't done it recently. They say that they go into the argument saying he has never done this. Why won't he ever do this? How come there are no recorded records of him ever doing this? And you're like, but he did. Here's 25 occasions. They're like, that's in the past, though. It's like, wait a minute.
And they were literally asking the question because Chris Wallace asked it at the debate, and he immediately, will you denounce white supremacy? Yes.
Yeah,
he did it
when he was answering.
Yeah, they were asking him to denounce it that day because he denounced it the night previous.
Yeah,
that was the long ago, Monkey.
The tripped out part is he said yes while the dude was still trying to finish his question, so he didn't count that as an answer.
And that led us to the Proud Boy moment because Chris goes on with his question. What would you say to the Proud Boys? What should they stand down? And he's like, stand back, stand down, or whatever. And again, go watch it, guys. Don't take my word for it. Yeah. They made a big deal out of him saying stand by and whatever. He was literally just using the language that Chris had used.
Yeah, and even the very good people shit was in that speech where they was like, he said there was very good people on both sides. In that speech, he specified, I'm not talking about these groups of people. He named like 6 groups that were all hate groups there. He was like, I'm specifically not talking about any of them.
Yep.
But people are just like, he said there were very good people on both sides. Thank you, Keldrick. Trump disrupts unprecedented new cell growth, kills innocent cancer cells.
Yes.
No, he aborted them.
Late term aborted them. One of my favorite things to watch these days, Satsu, is people who are waking up from the leftist nonsense. Mm-hmm. And I was watching this black guy earlier this year who he was talking about, he used to say Trump is racist until somebody finally said, well, give me an example. Mm-hmm. And he brought up the very fine people thing, and he's doing a video on it. And he goes, and this is what I showed him. He goes, and then they told me to watch the rest of it. And so I did. And damn, I was lied to.
No. What?
But see, but I don't even accept that as an excuse, because I'm just like, a lot of this stuff is out there and you can look it up. Like, you don't have to just take anybody's word for it. But I've argued with people who I'm just like, dude, just go watch the rest of the clip. Like, you don't have to believe me. I'm not trying to convince you. Just go watch the whole thing. And they're like, I'm not fucking watching that shit. I'm like, okay, so okay.
No, and I understand what you're saying. But I do give people sort of a pass because they're not as into this stuff as I am. You should be able to trust that what you're watching on the news is real. And a lot of people just go with that. And it's a mistake.
Yeah, rubes.
But I understand it.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea of somebody saying, I know for a fact that he said this. And I'm like, did you hear it yourself? And they're like, nope. And I don't need to. And I'm just like, wait, then how are you sure about something you haven't confirmed?
I have had several arguments on Twitter. Shocking, right? With people who are like, Trump said this. I'm like, show me the video. And they go to look for it and they're like, well, here. And then they'll show me something and it's nothing that they just said Trump said.
Oh yeah, like literally, and to the point, like some of the videos that I've heard people, like some of the things that like Trump absolutely said this, the Liz Cheney thing when it was like he's talking about putting her in front of a firing squad and having her shot. And I'm like, bro, for what?
Yeah.
I'm like, he literally made one of those liberal hippie arguments that y'all used to make back in the day about how the fucking king never gets sent out to war, and how, you know, they're more than happy to send all these people off to die, but if you send them out, I bet you they'd be a lot less likely to do it. I'm like, that's some hippie shit. Like, they've been saying that for years.
He literally said, give her a gun and put her in front of 9 people firing at her.
Yeah.
Because in firing squads, we always give them a fighting chance.
Yeah, we give them a chance.
Maybe they're really good at Call of Duty and they can pull it off. Who knows?
They're so full of shit, dude. And it's unapologetic too. That's the worst part, is they know it and they just don't care.
Mm-hmm. The one guy on CNN, I mean, he got fact checked in real time, and I forget who it was. Was it Axelrod? But he gets fact checked in real time, and it's still inappropriate for him to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shut up. It wasn't that long ago that the left was saying that about George Bush. Like, you're not sending your kids off to war. You're not going.
Oof. Oh, another good one too that really fucking pissed me off was the what was it? It was the firing squad one, and then it was the I'm gonna do things for women whether they like it or not.
Oh yeah.
Remember that when he was like, I'm gonna protect them. That, like, I know these women, they don't want me to protect them, but I'll protect them whether they like it or not. And they like, why is Trump saying that he's gonna do things to women whether they like it or not? I'm just like,
a monster.
He's gonna rape protect them.
Protect them right in the pussy. Oh, wait.
Speaking of rape, let's finish this.
Oh, jeez.
You're the president of the United States. You don't get to have good days and bad days. You got to have a consistently good, in terms of your mental, cognitive abilities, your physical abilities. You got to have good days.
No, again, stop with the physical ability shit. All right. Biden falling over was a sign that he had mental problems, because he didn't have a bad hip. He's not infirm in some physical way. Trust me, as somebody who was loopy for almost a decade on drugs, it will make you fall over a lot. That was the problem with him falling over. Nobody thinks that, you know, FDR was a shitbag communist because he was in a fucking wheelchair, you retard.
Oh my God. Oh, the bloodbath thing. Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah. Talking about cars. Like, he said bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath. Well, I guess they don't have to worry anymore because he won, and he said there'd be a bloodbath if he lost.
Well, also too, what was it? He incited January 6th because he used the word fight a lot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Kamala gave her speech after she lost, and she said fight 5 times in the first 2 minutes.
And not a fucking peep about it.
I'm just like, huh.
I saw somebody today, I don't remember who I was watching, but they were talking about how after Kamala lost and Trump won and all that liberal outrage, it didn't actually manifest itself. And I just need to remind you guys, just because it didn't, it doesn't mean it won't. If you go back and look at, they had the pussy march or whatever. Remember their pussy hats, the women's march, but there wasn't major protests and shit about Trump winning. You know, they weren't burning down cities. They do that shit in the spring and summer. It's too fucking cold to do it right now.
Yeah, these are lazy people. They don't riot when it's cold outside.
Yeah, they're gonna do it after it warms up and he officially becomes the president.
Yeah, they'll mark my words. There will be some case, I'm not sure what, where they're like, the police shot somebody. It's all Trump's fault. And riots will kick off. And I don't think it'll be this year. I actually think it'll probably be for the midterm elections. Because that's when we saw it previously. We get it in 2022 and 2024.
Well, I mean, some of that stuff is already starting. That last school shooting that we had, somebody was literally on Twitter like, see, you guys voted for Trump and now it's business as usual in Trump's America. I'm like, but
yeah. I saw an article in the paper the other day. I don't remember which paper it was, but they said Christmas is going to be more expensive. It's Trump's fault.
Yeah, because he did all the inflation.
Personally, he's not even president yet. What are you talking about?
He got elected in November, Monkey. He's been president for like a full month.
Yeah. It was called the Summer of Love, not the Winter of Love. Yeah, we talked about that at the time, that the riots were going to die down when it started to get cold, and damned if we weren't right, Jack.
As usual. There's one thing I know about hippies is a good cold snap, much like the homeless, will take out all the hippies too. Like,
yeah, their fleas don't like it
out here, man.
Thank you, Dangerous. There was that time Trump pushed for decriminalizing homosexuality worldwide. Remember what they said? That's racist. So Trump called COVID a hoax. Seriously, there are so many of these examples. Oh yeah. This show exists largely because the press exists, and they're such lying shitbags, and they make my job so fucking easy.
Yeah, kind of. Oh, thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. We have the possible Chauvin retrial to have them riot over. Don't worry. That's true. Did you hear about that medical report?
I did not.
Yeah, apparently George Floyd had a heart tumor.
Really?
Yeah, and that was withheld from the defense.
Oh, yeah, that's an overturn right there.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a retrial. And
Dude,
how much you want to bet things go a little differently this time?
what was it? There's a lot of that stuff going on. The chick from the Duke.
The Duke lacrosse case?
Yeah. She came out and was just like, yeah, I was just playing.
Yeah, straight up admitted to lying, which we all do. But yeah, she's going to jail for murder for like 23
she killed
years.
somebody.
Yeah, big shocker.
My wife told me, she goes, hey, did you hear about the lacrosse thing? I'm like, what lacrosse thing? She says, yeah, the chick that accused those guys, I forget where. I'm like, Duke? She's like, I'm like, everybody knew she was a liar. And the press is all treating it like it's the first time they've heard this.
Yeah, like whenever Al Sharpton jumps in something, I assume it's a fraud. I mean, it's one of Brawley, anyone?
Oh, and that motherfucker has been completely silent about this. He ain't said nothing.
Jack, you only say that because you pay attention.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Let's see. We got 47 seconds left of this. How long you guys think it'll take me to get through it?
You're gonna pause it in another 4 seconds, Monkey.
Yeah, I got a few hours. We're good.
My record is less than a second, Rosatsu.
Speaking of, Monkey, do you know the other night I did a 9.5 hour stream?
I was watching the whole thing, man. I only missed like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I wasn't talking because I was in so much pain, so I was just kind of sitting here watching. You were playing Vampire Survivor.
Vampire Survivor. I played Vampire Survivors for 9.5 hours the other night.
Wow.
And then woke up and played for like another 8.
Nice. Yeah, because that was the night you did the Castlevania DLC.
Oh, dude, that fucking DLC. There's like 56 characters they unlocked in that game. I'm like, dude, fucking AAA developers should be ashamed of themselves.
You know what? When I noticed about that game, because I did get it and I did play through the Castlevania one, and it was awesome. It really is. It is such a simplistic game that the download for it is less than, I think, 100 megs. I think it's like 50 megs. And it's a very engaging game that I didn't need to know anybody's sexuality to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I watched you play it and played it myself and had a great time throughout both. And it cost me less than $15.
Yeah. And that game has literally like 500-600 hours of content easy.
Wow.
For like $15.
I do wish they had more maps because part of it has started to get repetitive to me already. But the idea of unlocking all the people is the carrot that I'm chasing.
Oh, dude, I'm on it. Like I've already unlocked the first 25 characters in the Castlevania DLC. I just got the little secret thing to start unlocking all the bosses and the special ones now. So I'm starting to work on that. I'm like, yeah, I've been on it, dude. That I love that game.
What game?
Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors. It's what, from 2020, I think.
2022, I think.
2022. The graphic style is done. One of the reasons that the Castlevania thing works for it is it looks like it's from that era. But it's immensely fun, and I do recommend it. Check it out. Oh, I was also going to tell you there, Planet Coaster. You might be interested in this one, Satsu. The original Planet Coaster, not the one that just came out the other day, is less than $3 on Steam right now.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and I know you played Theme Park.
Theme Park, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're interested, check that one out. That game is a lot of fun. It's got a little learning curve to it, but once you get it, it's a lot of fun.
For those of you that don't know, that's roller coasters, not drink coasters.
Yes, yeah. The other one would be a much more boring game.
Yeah, it's not nearly as exciting.
All right, let's they have maps you unlock when you start. I'm sure there's maps I haven't seen already, and there's a lot that I haven't done on that game, but I don't think there'll ever be enough maps for me. Anyway, let's finish with this dickhead. Sorry, testicle head. I need to be consistent.
And so I think it's a lesson that we have to learn going forward, because again,
Monkey, did you really just pause the video in 4 seconds like I just said?
I'm not sure. I was just trying to do the math in my head.
Yeah, I doubt it was 4 seconds.
I was trying to talk shit, and you just fucking.
Mm-hmm.
The lesson that he learned is that he needs to do his fucking job.
To quote Kyle's mom, what?
What?
This is a lesson. Oh God. You shouldn't need this lesson at your age and in your business.
Yeah, if 10 years ago I would have agreed with you, but apparently people are retards now. So here we are.
I mean, he's basically just valid because you remember, like, the whole quote unquote fake news kind of thing started with Trump a bit. I mean, people were skeptical of the news forever, but like Trump would, like, he called it out, like, straight up, one of the first politicians to be like, y'all some liars, you know, and everybody's kind of been fighting against that. Like, the reason the media got so radicalized is kind of mainly because of that, because they never had like a politician look them in the face and say, y'all ain't shit.
Except that's not true. Reagan used to do that shit to him.
Most of them weren't around for that era, though.
Yeah.
And my problem with it is that you're right that Trump put him into overdrive.
Yeah.
But I saw Candace Owens on with Piers Morgan, and dear God, I hate that woman.
Which one?
Candace.
Oh, my bad.
The non-British one. She said Trump came out and said fake news, and nobody'd ever heard that before. I'm like, you are such a grifting piece of shit. Because even under Bush, people were, I mean, that's what Rush Limbaugh made his money on. Pointing out the problems with the left and the media lying about it. This shit has been going on forever. And yeah, it is much more pronounced because, yeah, they just threw the gloves off. They're like, fuck it. We'll just do it out in the open now.
Well, yeah, because after Trump, like, it actually became kind of socially normal for other news networks to call each other that. Like, yeah. Because that was, they generally, like, you know, there was kind of this unspoken kind of like, I don't like you motherfuckers, but we're all journalists. So we got to kind of, you know, at least keep some semblance that we're all professional here. But once Trump said that shit, everybody was just like, all right, all bets are off.
Yeah, but if you weren't paying a lot of attention to it, I get you that would be your awakening point. But we're talking about people in the industry. they've been called liars for a long before me. Fuck, we have a term for the propaganda bullshit. Yellow journalism. That shit predates me by what, half a decade or half a century?
Yeah, but I feel like those people. I feel like that was directed at like stand out, like you are a yellow journalist, not the overall news media as a whole. Like y'all are all fucking liars. Like everything that comes out of all of y'all mouths is bullshit. Like I think it was more overarching in this situation, and I think maybe back then it might have been more pointed at specific reporters.
I think that especially because of the media, it's a lot, or the access to social media, it's a lot easier to point out the examples of it where if you didn't listen to Rush Limbaugh, there's a lot of shit that you didn't catch that the media was up to at the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong about it, especially with most people.
Yeah, I think the internet enhanced the perception where it was just like before, you know, if you were watching that stuff and you were in those circles, you're like, yeah, this shit's always been happening. But like, you know, the internet has kind of amplified everything, you know, so.
And it's amazing to me that as the internet really takes off, because the internet's been around for a while now, but 2016, you have these social media networks that have just blown up. You have Facebook and Twitter just massively dominating things. And this is when the press is like, you know, now that we have more eyes on us than ever, let's just throw away all semblance of unbiasedness and just reporting and be pandering shills.
Yeah. And I know, like, the Candace Owens thing, like, I know a lot of people don't like her. Personally, I was a big kind of, she's a bit of a grifter, too. The reason that I like Candace Owens is because of the way that she talks about Black issues, specifically. Because I feel like that's when she's actually being genuine. I do feel like some of the stuff she's been talking about now has been a little less grifty when it comes to politics stuff. But, like, generally, whenever she's talking about shit like the way Black people are perceived and treated, the way the left talks to and treats Black people and shit like that, she's always spot on with that shit. So because I don't care as much about politics as I do about that shit, I'm like, yeah, Candace is cool. But political shit, like, she don't always know what the fuck she's talking about.
You can go back and check this. For many years, people would ask me what I think about Candace, and I'm like, I don't know. I know she's good at marketing herself, which she is. But what she truly believes, I have no fucking idea. And I was like, I take her or leave her. I don't really care. It was the Andrew Tate interview where I'm like, nah, fuck this bitch. And then she did a video to follow up on that to attack one of the alleged victims, and back up Andrew Tate's absolute fucking lie about how this girl had accused 5 different people of kidnapping her, which isn't even true. One of which is in prison right now for having sex with a minor, that girl, and clearly knew she was a minor when he did it. And Candace portrayed her as the bad guy in this whole thing. Wouldn't even name the guy. Wouldn't even name these guys who were hitting on a child. But used her name over and over again to slander her because she's sucking Tate's cock now.
Yeah, that and the doxing website that she had for a while, like that
Social
shit.
Autopsy, yes.
Yeah, that shit was but like I don't know, like because before I saw a lot of political shit from her, I was specifically like I got hipped on to her when she was at court, you know, talking about, you know, the way Black people are perceived in the community, the way the left treats us, the way they talk to us, and stuff like that. And I seen a lot of her debates with that stuff, and I'm like, oh fucking yeah, I'm with you, you know. And then the political shit came later for me.
I'm not saying I disagree with Candace on everything. I'm saying she's a horrible fucking person, and somebody just said it in chat. All she does is repeat Thomas Sowell and Larry Elder, and you're not necessarily wrong there. And this is why when before she pulled all this shit with the Tate thing, I'm like, the message that she's spreading is one that I agree with, and she's doing it well. So yeah, unless she does something really stupid, like saying what Hitler did wrong was doing it outside of Germany, then I didn't fuck with her. But then she got all up on Tate's dick, and I'm like, nah, fuck you, bitch. Real quick, thank you, Dangerous Spaces. I say it all the time, but fuck it. I regret paying to become a qualified journalist. Shit, I knew how to lie for free. I knew how to make up anonymous sources. I knew how to avoid doing the job. Well, see, it's not that you shouldn't have paid for the degree. What you should have done is got a job with CNN afterwards. That degree would have paid for itself.
Yeah, that's what you fucked up.
Yeah, just make up shit and go work for them. All right. I think we can finish. We got 30
minutes. Let him finish, Mug. Let him finish.
Ain't no fucking way I'm going to make it through this.
Donald Trump will be the oldest person ever to hold office if he serves for 4 years. And I will be mindful of that because...
See, did I not call it, Monkey?
Oh yeah. It's clear what they're doing here.
Did I not say it?
So transparent,
dude. This is literally groundwork. That's the only. This is just groundwork so they can start that shit on Trump. Like I called it.
We have to question it now because we didn't with Biden. It's This is so fucking transparent. This is again why I told you guys. It's not the age. It's not the age. Yes, is it more likely that they'll be addled at 80? Sure. But there are plenty of people who are at 20, okay? It's not age, it's mental ability. And again, if Trump is like that, I'll be the first to call him out. And a week later, the press will be like, yeah, he might be losing it.
Well, first it'll be on Steven Crowder's show. And then the mainstream will pick it up.
Yeah, I don't watch him anymore to know how many of our jokes he steals these days.
Yeah, well,
he's gonna go from we can't talk about this because the White House keeps telling us that it's mean to the White House is trying to conceal Trump's mental decline.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's the Trump to mental instability pipeline.
Mm-hmm. And can I just point it out? Satsu started talking right as I paused it, so he wanted me to pause there.
I did. I can't deny that because he literally said it after I said it.
It's almost like these guys are fucking predictable.
What? No, this is Chris Cillizza. He is a big brain genius that we could not see coming a mile away, dude. This guy's like a Navy SEAL of intellect.
And for the record, his little protege, Harry Enton, is still a big political guy over at CNN.
I fucking forgot about Enton.
Yeah, I watched election coverage and he was there. So, all right.
Again, asking those questions isn't a partisan thing. Asking those.
I'm sorry. What now? Did I hear that right?
Fuck me, dude.
It shouldn't be a partisan thing, but it clearly is. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. Chris, just be honest. Just be honest. You are a leftist shitbag. I'm going to question Trump because I can, and it makes the Republicans look bad, and I want democratic things to happen.
And it makes me feel funny in my fun spot.
Jess, that is fake news. That was not 4 seconds. That was 3 seconds. Thank you.
It's not partisan, Monk, unless they tell you they're going to make you feel bad. And then
it's not partisan when they do it.
Son of a bitch. This is only a 10-minute video. How did you have this much stupid in it?
3 hours and 17 minutes of stupid is a pretty good achievement, Chris. We're all proud of you.
In fairness, we did about 10 minutes of house cleaning at the beginning, so 3 hours and 7 minutes.
Fair enough.
Oh, fuck.
Those questions is a journalism thing. And I should have pushed harder and not been as willing to accept he's fine. Look at him when he's in public.
Okay, so their answer to you was look at him when he's in public, and you were like, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Look at him at his best when he's doped up and they got him all cleaned up and plenty of people around to distract you. Yeah, Makes sense, right?
The way we knew it was from watching videos of him in public.
What? Not possible, Monkey. Clearly, we saw some secretive behind the scene shit that was only available exclusively on CNN. Wait.
I gotta watch Scribe's reaction to this now. Like, I have to see it.
He had to be directed by the Easter Bunny.
I will never let that one go either. Like, you had to have a costume staffer who was probably some shithead intern that's just like, I don't want to do this. Oh my God, the president's wandering off. No one's around. What do I do? I'm the fucking Easter Bunny.
And they probably got fired for doing it too.
Probably. Because everybody made fun of it.
Me and Jack have talked about this many, many times. Jack, how many people do you know at the White House?
None.
How many times have you been around Joe Biden personally?
Never.
All of what we've talked about comes from his public fucking appearances.
Yeah. Yeah, if you'd asked me about Tulsi Gabbard, I was within 15 feet of her once.
And now he's not allowed to be.
Yeah, well, that goes with a lot of people. That's a growing list.
They added a 0 and like, stay away.
Yeah, usually just 500 yards, but
Tulsi found out what helicopter dick meant for the first time ever.
Okay.
Hold on. Thank you, Keldrick. I should have pushed harder. Sounds like he's talking about taking a shit, and based on his journalistic history, I'd say he pushed plenty hard for that.
Well, I mean, he did have journalistic constipation, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. A good analogy, Keldrick. Thank you.
All right. I'll never forget the look of pure fear when Biden saw the bunny. Oh, yeah. Which, by the way, had been in front of him the whole time.
Yeah. It's sort of like when everybody realized Snuffleupagus was real and not just Big Bird's imaginary friend.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it is with Biden and Harvey. I mean, the Easter Bunny all the time.
If you guys haven't, look, there's 2 clips of the Easter Bunny. The second one is actually much nicer to Biden than the other one. It's the Easter Bunny stopping him from saying shit he shouldn't be saying, which, by the way, shouldn't be the Easter Bunny's job.
I would think not, but thank you, Easter Bunny.
But watch the other one where it's the Easter Bunny directing him. Joe Biden is standing right in front of the Easter Bunny, and he's looking off to his left, and he starts to wander that way, and the Easter Bunny's like, no, this way. And he turns and looks at it, and he almost jumps.
Yeah, oh, thank you, little girl. Oh my God, what the fuck are you?
He is startled by this grown person in an Easter Bunny costume that's been there the whole time on Easter.
Yeah. It's sort of like if you were walking down the street and somebody dressed like Hello Kitty jumps out of the alley at you. It's that kind of like deer in headlight look, just for like a split second.
19 seconds.
Yeah,
Campaign.
Fuck am I looking?
And I did. Anyway, I'm always want to be as authentic, honest, and transparent with you as possible.
Sure, Chris. Sure.
We are 9 minutes and 54 seconds into this, and you have not been either of those things the whole time. And I can say that without hesitation because you've contradicted yourself.
Look, Monkey, you just don't understand the sophisticated betterness of somebody like him. He's just better than we are. He's an intellectual.
Jesus Christ.
This is part of that effort. 4 things. Subscribe to this channel.
Nah, fuck you. I'm not going to promote you. You're an idiot. And the less people who see you as a real source, the better, honestly. Anyhow, well, guys, there it is. There's the media telling you, look, we got it wrong, but it wasn't really our fault. We can see the decline that they hid so well when they told us we were being mean. I don't even really know, other than making fun of the guy for being a lying retard, how to process that shit. Because it is so blatant. It is just so blatant. And this is what is frustrating to me about people who get their news from CNN or MSNBC, or even in some cases Fox. They'll often lie to you while they're telling you the story, and people are like, they would never lie to me. They're the news. They're just giving me the facts straight. Not like those liars over on Twitter who are right all the time. And it's frustrating to watch that. It's not even like they're charismatic or engaging or even attractive to look at. I mean, have you seen for just a second there, CNN started hiring pretty women, and then they're like, nah, get the ugly bitches back.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why.
Pretty women cost more.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to lie to me, at least have a pretty woman do it.
Well, hold on, Monkey. You didn't find CNN staging the rescue of a famous torturer?
Oh, fuck, man.
You didn't find that entertaining? Because I most certainly did.
He had such nicely manicured nails.
I absolutely found it entertaining in all the wrong ways. I have a video. That was our last show, actually, before I took time off. And it was the next day that it came out that guy was a torturer who worked for Assad. And like, no shit.
No, they rescued him from under that blanket, that dangerous blanket.
Yeah, I make good money off of CNN, if I'm being honest. But you don't have to be that kind of fucking liar. You really don't. But they do, because they don't care about their integrity. And, well, why should they? Nobody holds them accountable.
Monkey, they're the most trusted name in news. James Earl Jones's voice told me so on their channel.
Thank you, Dangerous. Not fucking partisan. This whole stream is about how you didn't highlight Biden, but you will highlight Trump. Well, in fairness, he does hide that until the end. I mean, you have to pick up on it like Sasser did to get where it was going. But he doesn't give us that until the end. In fairness, he lied for 9.5 minutes before he got to that. He goes on to say, if Chris couldn't see something as obvious as Joe's decline, he is a shitty journalist. And not just a shitty journalist, but an oblivious person. I do not know how you could see Biden over this time and not see this. There's no way to do it without being in utter denial. And that's not a good place to be. Tons of other stories we're going to have to catch up on another time, you guys, because we're already almost 3.5 hours into this one. Do want to apologize again for the time off. Wasn't planning it, but I don't regret it because I had a great time with the family. And yeah, sometimes you guys come second. Sorry. Okay, you guys always come second, but often no. Hey, I'm trying to win here.
Monkey is a very courteous lover.
That's actually one of my favorite jokes was I think it's Dave Chappelle talking about that. Like women whine that you know, men come to first. Like, why? What were you trying to do? Beat you.
It's a race, bitch.
That's right. You should have got your shit done faster. But yeah, I don't regret it all. I did feel lazy not doing a show, and I hate going that long without doing one. But we'll be here for the foreseeable future, and I appreciate you guys sticking with us. Thank you so much for the donations and the just support all around. I mean, I don't even tweet out the show anymore because you get, hit on Twitter for doing, outside links, and you guys share it around. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate it. Jack, anything you'd like to shill?
I'm kind of in a state of flux right now, so not really. But I do want to thank everybody. Thank you, Frosted Glass. This is like if a fireman came into work on September 12th and said, I probably should have helped out, huh? Yeah, kind of. Not wrong. But I want to thank everybody for the condolences and the thoughts and prayers and all the donations. You guys are awesome. And thank you so much, Kamala's vaginal HPV tumor, for that amazingly generous donation. That is mind-blowing. Thank you guys so much for all the support you give us. It really is appreciated. So thank you for everything.
Satsu, anything you want to show, my friend?
I haven't really been doing anything YouTube wise other than my game streams. But if you guys would like to support me, I'm still selling spices on my website at oishifc.com. I got a really good deal going on for bundles right now, and you can still get them shipped out. They should still show up before Christmas at this point, but if you don't, the deal's still going to be going on sometime after that. So if you guys want to try them out, let me know. Go to the website. I'll get them shipped out as soon as possible.
Oh, what's that web address?
I'll put it in the chat for you.
Oh, thank you.
Also, check out his YouTube channels. I know you said you haven't done anything recently other than gaming, but Let Him Cook right here on the YouTube. And what do you game on? 2 Cents Plus, right?
2 Cents Plus, I game on my commentary channel that I recently resurrected. Used to be Satsu 2 Cents, but now is Let Him Cook. Like I said, I haven't really been uploading much on there because, like I said, I've been having a bit of a financial crisis over here, and it was so bad that I'm just like, babe, yeah, no, we're not gonna be able to do Christmas this year. So, but because of my crypto ventures, I managed to squeeze something out, and I was able to get my wife and my daughter something at least. So it's not gonna be much, but I couldn't keep looking at myself in the mirror if I couldn't get them at least something this fucking year. So I managed to pull something out, but like it's been tight. So I don't really have time to do the other streams and stuff like that, or the editing of videos and stuff, because it's not doing anything for me right now. So I need to hustle in other ways to try to get my shit together. So for those who are looking out for videos, I can't justify it at the moment, but I'll be back at some point, I guess.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Jack, Satsu, a pleasure as always, gentlemen.
Always glad to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone, have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Oh, shit, I meant fuck off.
Singing a song about the end of the show. Fuck off. Go away. I don't want to sing tonight, but I'll do it for you.
Oh, Retro, thank you. Merry Christmas to you, too.